Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Shot to him downfield.
Stockton fires downfield. Touchdown, Logan Humphreys.
Well, there's an interception on the first play thereafter. Eli Bowen down the sideline. He may go. Ty Simpson back there. Can't tackle him. Touchdown, Eli Bowen.
Nobody really deserved to lose that football game. That was a well-played, hard-fought slugfest. And incredibly thankful and proud. Appreciate our players just laying it on the line.
Outside set, swing down the line by Abigail. Mullen, the Huskers dig it up, flip it over. Doug now found Weena, fires back. Here come the big red. Long shoots at Andy Jackson. Kaboom! 17-9, faster than 5G.
Comes into Nisley, deep left corner, 3, you betcha! Off the assist for Petrie. Sandford for 3. He's got all 6 for the Huskers. Nebraska and Sandford with the flush. He's got 8 of Nebraska's 10. 5 to shoot now. Sandford gets it to go. Sandford has been the man for Nebraska in this game.
That's a heck of a team, a well-coached team, and it's just a great win for our program. You know, that being said, I didn't love our start where obviously, we get down 10-0 right out of the chute. And I thought Oklahoma threw the first punch, and they were the more physical team early in that game. And, I give our guys a lot of credit. They found a way to withstand it. We talked before the game that the biggest thing that would win this is how we handled adversity.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centrist Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Good. How you doing?
I made it.
You did. I'm impressed.
I took it down to the wire.
It felt like there was maybe some time, like circling the car, deciding whether or not you're coming in today. Or were you sitting or were you circling?
I was circling the wagon. I found this screw though, so I'm going to put it in because I think everything else is loose.
You gonna be all right?
Was this just up here because
I have no idea why that was up there.
I could have used this to fix my mailbox.
What happened to your? Somebody hit it?
No, it was coming off the
the
post deal. So I actually, this is the first manly thing I've done in maybe 30 years. I got a drill.
Yeah.
I put the bit in. I figured out how to put the right size bit in.
There you go.
I got some screws. I drilled new holes. I put it into the wood plank. It's now stable on my deal.
There you go.
I know.
Speaking of fixing things, you know who got a new light in their kitchen this weekend?
Who's that?
That'd be this guy.
You got a new light?
You know who did it?
Did you?
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah, well.
That was the wife.
We got a new light, but we bought it.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it. Like something comes from Amazon every day, and all of a sudden I see Zoe in the corner turning lights. She's like, oh, it can do Christmas, and it can do this. And I don't know where Jay is. I think she's maybe in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this light stand in the corner, and I was like, huh.
Wonder where that came from.
Knowing her, she probably ordered it. Yeah.
She is a little too good for the phone the phone for her own good.
Apparently it she's like, oh, here, let me see it. The remote control doesn't work as good as the phone. I was like,
we got problems.
It's just her and I for a long time yesterday, and I learned a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, we cleaned her room though.
Teaching you some things?
Yeah. It wasn't near as bad. The Friday night, obviously, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But I came home and I met my friend Lalo.
Okay.
It was a silver Blanco. And
I think did you and Lalo hang out a lot on Saturday?
No. So I'm pretty disappointed.
Because I almost texted you. I wanted to be like, hey, make sure you mix in some seltzers for hydration.
I'm pretty disappointed because Caleb came.
Oh, okay. So you hang out with the fellas?
And he wanted to see my mom real quick. So I told her yesterday. She called last night. Or I called her, one of the two. And I was like, just want you to know, you probably salvaged my weekend. So, no, it wasn't like I wanted. It definitely wasn't like I wanted. But it's fine.
No, that's all right. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, I am. It was We got a chance to see that up close and personal.
Yeah, it was.
They're legit.
Yeah, listen. When I say I don't like Millard South, it's because I'm a Millard North guy. I don't have anything against the kids. I want to make that clear. So any animosity is towards the institution. It's like how Nebraskans hate Iowans. Like, there's a bunch of people from Iowa I like.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm from Nebraska. I'm going to hate Iowa, right? Yeah. But I will say that was the first time I'd seen them in person this year. I'd seen them on like tape and stuff. But I've been a big Jett fan. I was so impressed by Thomallala. Like that, and then the defense was way better than I realized.
Yeah, so I think two things on that. Number one, and this is no disrespect to, I think I've seen it longer than most. And I'm not arguing with college recruiters and stuff that come.
Yeah.
I'm not, because everybody has their opinion.
Yeah, and they have their
right?
whatever they are looking for, whatever.
Guys do this, or they don't do that, or they can't do this. There's only a couple of things I know. I saw, as you know, I'm a huge, like I've DM'd the guy after he's won or when he got his offer. I'm like, hey, congratulations. Like,
yeah.
I have a ton of respect for him. And I've seen, a couple of years ago when we played them, weather was horrible. It was windy. They couldn't run the ball, so it was an offensive game. They weren't a very good running team that year to begin with, even though they had a really good running back that I liked. And I watched him hang in there, right? And I think they got a defensive scoop score, kept it close. They just weren't. It's just okay offensively, right? And I watched his toughness. So I came back and I told you, I was like, I think he's pretty tough.
I agree.
He's pretty tough.
Yeah.
And last year,
that was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last year, I felt like for 2.5 quarters, it was pretty equal.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, his former coach will tell you he missed some throws. Right. I'll tell you that happens in real games all the time. So, like, give some credit, but I watched him hang in there. A couple scramble plays, the face mask. He hit Lofton on that dot on the sidelines. I told you about the play that he made because I called you the next. I called in the next morning. I didn't really feel like it, but I certainly wasn't going to run from it. He made the scramble play along the sidelines to Amir Hill for the touchdown. I'm like, nobody's really doing that.
No.
Right? So then there's this year, and again, for these guys know, coach, and we watch the tape and we do this. And look, you guys, I'm just telling you, and it's not because he's not yours, right? He's going to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that's it for some of these guys. They'll talk about staring down, receivers or being in a system offense. And I always laugh at system offense because any good quarterback is playing in a system.
So everybody's yeah.
And you know what else I don't care about?
What's that?
I don't care that he has good players because he's going to have those in college too.
Yeah. Well, especially in Tuscaloosa.
So 2 things I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
He has elite toughness. That's number 1.
Unflappable. Unflappable.
He just is gonna keep coming. You cannot find that everywhere. Better hang on to that if you're gonna want to go get that guy. Now it's too late now because he's going where he's going. But number 2, he has, and I've seen and done this a long time. Been a lot of places. I've seen a lot of spinners of the ball.
Yeah.
At a multitude of levels. He has elite arm talent.
I would agree.
It is. Sometimes, and I told you, right? We'd have to play perfect. We needed to turn him over twice. We needed to get a defensive score. We needed a special team score.
Yep.
Like I just felt like
that keeps you in it.
That would keep us in it. And I get, like, it's not even a criticism. I get what some people will say, right? Oh, it's a 50-50 ball. Like the first play he beat Micah on, where Jensen just took the ball away from him. There's something to quarterback play where you say, my guy's better than your guy, and I'm going to put the ball on him. He put the ball on him. That's
on the move, by the way.
That's not a knock.
No.
I don't look at that as a knock.
No, he's like,
more quarterbacks need to do that.
Yeah.
Number two, like I'm seeing the whole thing. Like we had to kind of we didn't dumb it down a little. We basically had to go to like 2 coverages because of the pressures, right? Because we wanted to bring pressures. So I can see the routes. I know when he throws a corner route early and on time. I know when he anticipates an over route. Like I can see it.
Yeah, because you know how it's supposed to be covered.
Yeah. It's some of it is laughable.
I was like, never late. Never.
Some of it is just it's just he threw a corner route to Amarion on 3rd down. We had to give him more 3rd downs than they've ever seen.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Couldn't stop him, but he threw a corner route to Amarion in front of our sidelines where it reminded me of the Lofton play along the sidelines at State, where it's the only place his guy could get it. And I watched AJ come out of his break and immediately look up.
Yeah, because he knew the ball was going to be on.
The ball was in the air.
Yeah,
it was almost pretty.
Yeah,
right. So I'm just
like if you weren't playing against it, you'd be just infatuated by it, probably.
Yeah, and I mean there are times where
it's hard not to be anyway.
You are.
Because you're just like, how did that even happen?
Like he's an elite level arm talent.
I'm glad you said that because I don't think that gets brought up enough.
People don't because they like to just be like negative and
they try and find reasons why he shouldn't be committed to be Alabama or wherever.
And I'll tell you the other little dirty secret. They were fine as a team.
What do you mean?
Like just the antics, the actions.
Oh, it didn't seem like there was much.
Not at all.
Yeah, it seemed pretty clean.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there on the field. Like I didn't see anything.
I'm like, and I wanted to. I would have told.
Which a couple years ago was not the case.
No,
to be clear,
it's a vastly different.
Like
thing.
The temperament seems way different.
It's a vastly different thing.
Which new head coach like that tends to happen sometimes.
Listen, he's legit.
Yeah, Mendenhall.
Yeah. I
was super impressed.
And you know what? He doesn't make it about him.
Yeah.
Which I mean is number one. So
I tried to get him for a minute after the game, just talk to him, and he goes like, "Hey, I gotta go talk to my team real quick," and then I didn't end up catching up with him. But
one thing I can kind of appreciate is he's tough to get.
Yeah,
other people like have wanted to do stuff and grab him, and he doesn't seek outside interviews, and I don't really know him, so I'm not gonna to speculate on his personality, but he seems to be he seems to be about that.
And I'm sure if I had tracked him down, he would have talked to me, but like it wasn't like his priority was like, hey, I gotta go talk to my team real quick, which I appreciated. I did get to talk to Jett for a second, like in that
he's sensational.
I was with Tim for most of the first half, Verghese, and the throw that I think we were both
even Tim and I have had the conversation about
arm talent.
No, like reading defenses.
Oh yeah.
Staring guys down, and I'm like, look, man. Oh no, dude's pretty good.
Yeah, the throw that we were both most impressed by, I think, was the first throw of the game, the one on the sideline where he throws from the other hash.
Oh yeah.
Which is that's an insane throw,
especially at this level.
Yeah, and nobody else makes it.
You're willing to concede that.
Yeah, that's the thing that you're like, it's the skip pass to the corner in basketball where you're like, yeah, I mean, if you can throw it over the backboard and that guy's still open, go for it.
Believe me,
like that's an insane throw. Yep. And the arm talent doesn't get brought up enough.
His accuracy.
He's also huge.
Yep. That's the great thing.
Like he's a giant. He's 6'4", full 6'4".
When you see him, he's a big kid.
Like that was probably the first time I had stood next to him, and I was holy cow! Like he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's
Last thing on Jett, I was also super impressed because you guys did try and bring a ton of pressure. His pocket presence is unbelievable.
Yeah, I was so
like his ability to move.
I was so frustrated early because we couldn't get lined up right, and a couple times we didn't come on the pressures. And they had a nice little wrinkle with some of their condensed sets, which was nice. You know, I'm not nice as a guy coaching against them with our staff, but just different.
Yeah,
and kept guys in because I think they anticipated pressure.
Yeah.
So, you know, the first 15 plays, we probably only ran about 4 of them right. And we kind of settled in the middle, and then they adjust. But what you're willing to give up, they're really, really adept at because Zach is a handful.
So somebody just asked about Zach
I told you,
the
but
chat.
like he's the X factor.
Because he flies under the radar with all the other.
He keeps the middle soft.
Yeah.
Right. He's going to get a lot of one-on-ones. He's going to get a lot of safeties, and he is an incredible route runner. And his hands,
so good.
Dude, he runs like he has no bones in his body. I'm just telling you.
I've never heard that before. That's funny.
He runs like he's
like real fluid.
Very, very fluid.
Yeah.
Change of directions. He reminds me of he's smaller than Roll, but Gretna had a guy about 4 or 5 years ago. This is before he hurt his knee. He played opposite Marshall when he first was coming up as a pup. And they had this tandem out wide that the Flores got to throw to. And Roll was really, really similar.
Yeah.
Where he's just shifty and he could sink his hips and change his pad level.
Get in and out of breaks real quick.
He could stem you. And, you know, you try to replicate it, right? On those over routes or those little cross routes, we work the switch release where, you know, we want to switch the coverage. I mean, we must have seen it 70 times in practice. Now, it's different when it's 88 and 10 doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Which 88 was pretty good, too.
Hey, so he's the guy that about a year ago, I said we got to find a way to get him recruited, but he's kind of flies under the radar because that was when they had law.
Yeah, they had a bunch of dudes.
So, and even Prince was going to play a little offense then.
Yeah.
This was before they kind of settled in. And so, but he's big body.
Yeah. Pretty good.
He's a big kid, but Zach is it's tough because you can't really play. There's just a lot of things you're forced to almost just play man.
Which is
probably because not ideal. Can't, you know, if I was drawing it up on a dry erase board, what you could get away with, you could get away with an okay defensive line. You need really good insides, and you need probably better safeties than corners. Like if you didn't get it all, like it's easy to say, well, I want this and I want that. Like if you just have,
if you're being realistic,
if I'm just being realistic, I think that's how you've got to do it. But we just couldn't possess the ball long enough either. A couple short fields. It's just like his accuracy. I was floored.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have been, right? Because I lamented over the throw that he made at State in the corner of the end zone. That was kind of the backbreaker. You know, the little comeback, and it was at the pylon.
Yep.
Go back and watch that throw.
Yeah.
I said it I'll go back and watch that throw. He threw it down a hallway on the move.
Yeah.
Like literally down a hallway on the move.
Yeah, his mobility is a little underrated too.
He can manipulate the pocket.
And he can throw on the move really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Mosey and Merritt and all those guys got into the Metro Kansas City versus Omaha discussion. I'm like, look, man, stop. You guys got a lot more people, but if you let us piece together just like a couple of teams,
we'll
be all right.
Beating anybody.
I don't know about any. I mean, we'd be
take your chances.
Yeah. Be all right.
Well, we'll have that a week from today, championship.
Yeah.
Papio South, Millard South.
So I'll have to ask for the day off. I won't do A, D1, D2, but I'll do B, C1, C2.
Okay. Oh, speaking of days off, you're gonna be here Friday, or when are you guys leaving? Do you know?
I don't know. They should have sent me the itinerary. I'm guessing no.
Okay.
Usually that itinerary comes in. Well, it'll be here this morning.
They got the 6 o'clock kick for
that was
Penn
kind
State.
of the rumor during the bye week.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of let the guys know that he felt like it might be the late NBC game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not
So I'm excited.
prime time. What time you guys gonna get back? About 2 a.m?
I guess
It's
later.
not going to matter.
We'll get an hour back.
You'll get an hour back. Yeah. So I was thinking 2 if you get an hour back.
Yeah.
Because you got 6
Which is better than
9
5 o'clock 2 weeks ago.
on the West Coast,
Yeah.
on the left coast.
Yes. I'll take getting the hour back, coming back.
We've had a couple people
I
ask.
still can't believe that. I can't believe the line.
Oh, that's the most points Nebraska caught all year, right?
Yeah.
That by a margin, isn't it?
Yeah. I would have made Penn State probably 7 or 8.
Oh, that's higher than I thought still.
I'd say probably 8.
You think so?
They're good.
I get that.
They're pretty good.
They haven't played very good.
I don't know, man. They're pretty talented.
They haven't played very good.
Yeah, I'd have made it 8. We should do the where I was right and where I was wrong.
I was thinking like 4.5.
Watching this highlight.
Yeah, what do we got?
So dead wrong about Kansas City winning this game.
Yeah.
Super right about them not winning the division. I have no idea what they're doing. And for a team that only lost by 3, they look shot.
They didn't look very good.
So, but I said this this year. Like, Denver's good.
Yeah.
Don't let me listen. A lot of people don't. You're
I
like
don't.
everybody else. Denver's good. Denver's better than you think.
Probably.
They play without JK, and you look at quietly what Bo Nix did. Like, you can't hate, man. He balled.
I'm not hating. It just doesn't. When I watch him, I'm just like,
I know. I get it. I get it.
And then they win, and I'm just like, well, I guess they're good, but like it doesn't. I don't know if it just doesn't fit my eye or if it just is.
They're good. I'm telling you. Now, I don't expect like Mahomes to miss some of those passes, but he got away with some of the picks too. So it's like
he wasn't very good.
He just wasn't.
He just wasn't very good.
There's no way he's washed.
No.
Dead wrong about the Lions.
Yeah.
They looked horrible.
Awful.
Well,
I mean,
Goff looked horrible.
How many times are they going to get in the red zone and just not do anything?
So they have to. I'm telling you,
they got to figure that out.
It's not malpractice because he's a good coach, but some of that stuff was negligent.
Oh, it was terrible.
What
are we doing?
Just absolutely negligent.
What are we? And we're going to go an entire series inside the 5-yard line, and David Montgomery's never going to get the ball.
It's incredible.
Like, what do we do? Like, I know Jahmyr Gibbs is good, but come on, man, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's why he's on the roster.
He was like, Gibbs was the best player on the field, and
Gibbs is incredible.
You just didn't even give yourselves a chance to win.
No.
So I don't feel as bad about that one.
No, I mean, and
I am reselling. I am selling off the JJ McCarthy stock.
You're selling it out? You're done?
I'm done.
All the way out?
All the way out.
That was pretty rough.
He tried to reel me back in with the last drive, too. I was like, oh, okay, there's the guy.
You're like Pacino in Godfather 3. It's like, pull me back in.
By the way, in that Lions game, 5 turnovers on downs. That's bad. Was there 6? I went to bed like with a few minutes left.
Well,
was there 6 at the end?
Half of those were in the we're first and goal, or we're in the at the goal line.
Yeah.
For Detroit. Like, what are we doing?
It was not. Their fan base has to. Do you just take what comes with that?
I guess, but it was like
that's what they do.
It's like watching Ole Miss this weekend.
Yeah.
But there's a point of diminishing return, isn't there? I mean, at some point you have to get points.
I know. I asked myself, how's Kansas City 5-5? But I didn't think they'd win the division anyway. But they don't seem like a 5-5 team. But I listened to these talking
until you watch them play, and
this morning and last night, for that matter. Well, this is kind of who we thought can't. No, it's not.
No, it's not. They're all liars.
Like, knock it off. You did not think. Now, there were some people that thought that they could start out like 0-2 or maybe 0-3, right, with the record.
And there were some people that did think
But
Denver
this is how you thought 5-5 would look?
No, absolutely not. There were some people that thought Denver was going to win the division. Nobody thought Kansas City was going to look like this.
Yeah, well, I took the Chargers.
Yeah, I think I did too.
And I had a tough time between the Chargers and the Broncos.
I didn't
told
want the
myself
Broncos.
I'm going to be mad because it'll be week 13 and Kansas City will be in first place, and I'll be like, damn it. Like, I knew I should, but so far it's –
You're mad.
I mean, but the Chargers, bigger head scratcher than them?
No.
Like, are they good?
I don't know. Because I
looked awful yesterday.
Are the Jaguars good?
I ask our – I'm sure I'll ask
Cynthia
today.
Yeah.
I'm going to say – I ask once a week to our NFL guy, is Jacksonville good?
You know who I got to ask this week? Is Carolina good?
Yeah, you want to hate on them so bad.
Mostly because of Austin.
Yeah.
And they play the Niners this week, so I got to bristle up a little bit.
They're super resilient.
I actually don't hate the Panthers. Like, I don't have any animosity towards them. I used to like some of those old Panthers teams. Like some of the very first ones back when you were on the team. And I love Tim Biakabatuka for no reason at all. I was a big Steve Smith guy.
Who's the bigger head scratcher? And I know what you're going to say because of the quarterback, I think.
Okay.
But based on expectation levels and how they actually play, at least the Chargers have a winning record.
Mm-hmm. 7-4. I mean, like, they'll probably make the playoffs still.
Anybody more frustrating than shouldn't the Falcons be good?
I don't know. I might have missed on Penix. Like,
we would have missed on Penix.
Right, yeah. I mean, I didn't want to throw you in there, but yeah, we were both on Penix, and
I still think it's too early.
It might be too early, but right now he's not good enough for them to be good. I think their defense has some problems too. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not just a Penix issue.
Still can't get after the passer.
Yeah, which they tried to fix a little bit with the draft here, but they're struggling.
Yeah.
I think they need a little bit more out of some of those young pups on the D line or kind of on those edges.
Yeah, it might take a little bit.
Maybe next year. Maybe we're a year early. Maybe next year.
I said that last year.
Well, but Penix didn't play hardly at all.
But I did pick the Chargers 2 out of the last 3 years too. So I'll let you know I'm a genius.
Well, I get enamored with the Harbaugh of it all. I think.
Yeah, somehow they're 7-4. They did not look like a 7-4 team yesterday.
No, I mean they're still going to make the playoffs. I would imagine like that. They're going to be second in the division, and then I don't know what to do with Kansas City.
Yeah, so shout out my Lions pick, the Chiefs pick, and JJ McCarthy.
And how are we feeling about it's the Bills yesterday, but how are you feeling about the Bucs right now? They haven't been healthy much.
Man, I always ask the caveat every week to our NFL folks about if they get healthy. Maybe they just aren't, and this is going to be who they are.
One of those years.
That was a super bad pick he threw.
Yeah. There was nobody there.
And he gives you one of those a game.
Yeah.
But I still like Baker.
That's fine. I mean, he's played way better than I had given him credit for.
And I flipped the coin, and of course I'm going to be wrong, but between taking the Rams or the Bucs for the Super Bowl. But
Rams,
no, they're good.
The Rams are pretty good. Rams are pretty good. They're going to win that division.
I still don't know if they're going to get – I worry about them stopping the run in the long haul, but maybe you won't have to. They are going to have to if they see Philly.
Well, I think they're going to have to if they see the Niners too.
Yeah, they're better than them though.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll get them.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
if you just go down, like,
I don't know if they're better than Philly.
No, I think Philly's probably
better
a little.
than the Niners.
I think Philly's probably a little better than they are. And then if you match up the running game, that could be a problem. Yeah. I do think Shanahan gives the Niners a chance against the Rams, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'll take Shanahan against just about anybody. There's not a lot of guys in the league I'm taking over him.
Well, I would take McVay, except I think Shannon gets the best of him.
Yeah,
What is their record? What is their record head to head? McVay may have been catching up lately.
He got the last couple, but for a minute it was like 6-1 or something. It was pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I would take McVay over Shanahan.
That's fine. He's probably in the group. He's probably,
and that's just in the NFC. I think
it's not a. It's
I would take.
It's not a big list. It's currently 11-7. I think it was like 11-4 for a minute, and
McVay's caught up. Respectable.
Yeah, he's caught up a little bit, but there was like 6 in a row at one point. Like it was pretty bad.
And we'll get to all NFL at 9. But the question I'm going to ask Cynthia.
What's that?
Are the Ravens good?
It seems like no.
Huh.
It seems like no.
It does?
I mean, I keep waiting for them to be good.
Yeah, it's wild.
You know my favorite line.
What's that?
If they're good, why don't they play good?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. I do know. I don't know. I do know. Like I do know New England's good. I do know.
Don't give Rico that.
Is he a Patriots fan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I take it back.
Would you take Vrabel over Shanahan?
No.
I don't think I would either, but I had to think about it longer.
No. I mean, we definitely can put a team together, but but no, I'll take Shanahan.
Take good old Kyle.
Yeah.
Rico says Pats may never lose again. They probably will at some point.
He's just talking.
They probably will at some point, Rico. That's generally how it works.
So flip forward. Fast forward. Flip forward. Where I was right. Let's talk college.
All right, what do we got?
Oh, this is a heck of a weekend.
It was. Who? I'm trying.
Here, where's your hand?
Why you slap my hand for? Ow, that hurt.
Stop taking the free money.
I'm not going to do that because you know what I'm doing this week.
Stop taking the free.
You know what
money.
I'm going to do this week? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right now.
Should have just gone back to replay that bet on it segment.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do right now.
What's that? Take Nebraska.
I'm taking Nebraska plus 9.5. That's free money, baby.
You might be right there.
That number's way too big.
It seems
that
high.
That number's way too big.
But normally I'd tell you it's high for a reason.
Yeah. No, I think people are overestimating the, Penn State got right. I don't care.
Tough place to play.
That's fine.
I got to look at it more. Of course, I need a couple of days.
That's why I'll give them like 5.5, 6. The tough place to play. Are we really changing who we think Penn State is because they beat Michigan State?
No. I don't.
Are you sure? Because that's what that line seems to say. Because let's see what they were against Michigan State.
Do you know what
the line was against Michigan State?
Do you know what it is?
What's that?
It's Knowles getting to see Lateef on film.
Well, what about Lateef getting to see Knowles? Let's do it.
That's what I'm like. I think
get
that's a lot of it.
I get what you mean.
You know, so
that didn't help them against a bunch of other teams they lost to this year.
Oh, I get it. First start on the road in Happy Valley.
They're bigger favorites than they were against Michigan State, who was 3-6.
Wasn't that in East Lansing?
I don't care.
All right. Shane, do you think Ravi cares? It sounds like he doesn't care.
Okay, so move it to Happy Valley. It closed at 6.5. There's your 9.5. Like, so they're saying Michigan State and Nebraska are the same team? What are we talking about?
Don't matter to me.
Oh, no, that dude needs to be quiet.
Grunkmeyer had 127 yards passing.
Yeah, now I don't see that being a thing as long as they find out where Pena is.
Grunkmeyer.
But they are going to have to stop that run game.
That's fine. I get it.
But I know they've been putting in work. This is a good. Well, no, it's early.
We're going to do some QB run game?
It's early, so I'll tell you after. See a little bit of.
Couple days. Give me a couple days here.
Preparation. They're going to have to start practicing at night here, too, a little bit.
Yeah, they got to make them at night.
I mean, I think.
I would imagine.
Wait, so is Michigan good?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know what to do with Michigan. I
certainly did.
The better question is Northwestern good?
I told you they're better than you think. I told you for forever that victory will age better than you think.
I understand that, but they're still okay. So obviously they took Michigan down to the wire. They had the game-winning field goal for Michigan, but like the problem with Northwestern is they're now 5-5.
Oh.
So it may not age better than we. You know what I mean?
Was it Louis Vaquer that said, "Now he's seen this from Northwestern before they got off to a 5-2 start, and then they get people's attention, and then they
and then Nebraska, USC, Michigan, which that's a tough stretch,
that's a tough schedule
for sure. They got Minnesota at Illinois on the way out, so they'll have a chance to make a bowl. But listen, I don't think Northwestern's terrible. I thought that was a game Nebraska should win. Like, there's a difference.
Let me ask you something. Is Iowa good?
I don't think so. I think they're too, and this is a wild thing to say with Iowa. I think
they led for 3/4 of that game.
I know, but in
Los Angeles,
I think they're too limited offensively for their defense not being quite to the level it normally is.
Huh. Is SC good?
I think so.
I bet if you
think so.
I think if you asked players, just gave them some truth serum, the game that they feel the worst about is USC and not Minnesota.
About losing?
Yep.
I mean, I would agree.
Yeah.
Here's the problem between USC and Minnesota in my mind, right? In Minnesota, you look at that and be like, hey, that's on us. We didn't do what we needed to do to be ready for that fist fight. You can live with that because you can change that, I think. With USC, maybe they don't think this way. I think this way. So I want to preface it with that. Is I look at that game and I go, if your starting quarterback doesn't get hurt, you win that football game. 100%.
I think that's why it hurts.
That's what I mean. You can't change that. You can't fix that. You can fix the effort against Minnesota, right? Like if you're well coached and you're a disciplined team and you can fix that. You can say, hey, we're not going to let that happen again. You know what you can't fix? A broken fibula at the start of the third quarter.
So let's go back to last week when I posed the question this way to you. When we were doing bet on it, and I liked Iowa. I said, shouldn't SC be favored by a little more at home? Isn't there
was it 6.5?
I said, isn't there a USC in Los Angeles and a USC on the road?
Yeah. Felt like they should have been.
So I get it. Vegas is pretty smart.
Mm-hmm.
But Iowa's got to be pretty good.
I think they're very good at keeping games.
I'm just going back. This isn't revisions.
No, I know.
This is the exact conversation.
I think they're very good at keeping games in reach. Because there's a different – I think there's –
At 21-7, I was like, damn.
I didn't think they were going to win at that point, though. I really didn't. Because I was like, they're not scoring 21. Like, at 21 – I was like, are they going to be able to score enough points? Because USC is going to score eventually. That's how I felt. Yeah. So I sat there and I go, okay, are they going to be able to keep up with whatever pace USC keeps in the second half? Because I do think Iowa against anyone that's not Minnesota and Wisconsin, which Wisconsin is just awful. I think they're super limited offensively.
Are they?
I do. I think they're super limited.
They always play that quarter or a half that thinks that makes you think Fickle may get it.
Yeah.
So did you see Signetti's interview?
So did Nebraska under Frost. How did that go?
He's a trip. Let me ask you another one.
Yeah.
I've been on him, so this isn't a leading question. Or it might be.
Well, they're all leading questions, but it's okay.
Is Georgia good?
I think yes.
Yeah,
I think yes.
They're pretty good.
I also think Texas is not as good.
Texas is good.
They're good. They're not as good as people want me to believe Texas is.
As I wanted you to believe they were.
Not you. Their defense is good. But all year,
Georgia's good.
People have been trying to, even after the losses, they're trying to prop Texas back up. Texas is not that team. Texas is not a national title contender this year, even before the loss. That's not a national title caliber team. Quit telling me that's a playoff team. It's not.
All right, I won't tell you.
Well, you weren't telling me. I'm the royal we.
I got another one for you. So is Georgia good?
Georgia is good, but also Texas is not the caliber that people were trying to make them be.
All right, let me ask you another one.
I'm ready.
Is Oklahoma good?
I have to say yes, but I am concerned about their offense, the way Mateer's been playing lately. I was not impressed. I think their offense is a limiting factor.
That's a national
but that's a good
championship
team.
Caliber.
Definitely playoff. Defense, yes. National caliber defense. Definitely a playoff caliber team. They feel a little.
I told you I didn't just take them against ATS.
You took them to win.
Yeah.
They feel a little Notre Dame-y to me from last year, where I didn't trust Riley Leonard enough to think that. And they had a terrific run through the playoff. Don't get me wrong. When they came up against Ohio State, I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. That's sort of how I feel about Mateer. I don't think there's quite enough there in this current iteration since he got injured. And maybe he heals and is better down the stretch. I don't know. But if he looks like this for the rest of the year, I don't think he's got enough juice for them to win a national title.
Interesting.
I don't see it. But again, he could get healthy. They keep saying he came back from the wrist as soon as humanly possible. Maybe that keeps him from getting healthy, or maybe he will get healthier as the season goes on. I don't really know the nature of the injury or the nature of the healing process of that particular injury. So, like, either one could be true, but if this is the version of material you get, that's not a national champion.
Another game. There's something.
Another one.
There's themes here in which these are all games you took free money.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's get to another one.
Yeah.
Is Notre Dame good?
They're fine.
They're pretty good.
They're fine. I don't.
Pittsburgh defensively. I told you they're legit.
Pittsburgh
but the number was right.
Pittsburgh is legit. What was the number?
It ballooned to 13.
I think I took the Irish there.
No, you took Pittsburgh.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Taking Pitt doesn't seem like me.
Yeah, it's free money, you said.
Unless I was just doing it to annoy you. Let me see what the number was there. It was higher than it should have been.
It closed at like 13, I think.
Was that the one that was like 11.5 most of the week?
Yeah.
It closed at 12.5, so it was 11.5 most of the week.
Their defense is the only reason that thing didn't balloon.
Oh yeah, offensively though,
they got Carr a couple times on some nice ones.
They're bad offensively though.
See them playing like that, Robert. Like that's tough when you
no, they're defensively they're
really
get
a savvy low hole guy like that.
Carr's he's started playing pretty good.
We don't know who's better, Miami or Notre Dame.
Oh, I think at this point in the year, Notre Dame. I think. You taking Notre Dame over? You taking Miami over Notre? Like earlier in the year, I think Notre Dame was kind of figuring some things out. But who are you taking?
I don't know. My gut says if they played tomorrow, Notre Dame wins.
Yeah,
but I'm still mad Notre Dame didn't give the ball to Lovemore when they played the first time. That's their own fault.
I would agree.
I said that real time.
Yes, you did.
Is Miami good?
I don't think so. I think Carson Beck is a problem.
Oh, how the coats have turned.
Yeah, I mean, so again, he was a guy that I liked because of his resilience.
Resolve, yeah.
You know, like I like a guy, but at a certain point, and I can't remember, I think I said this on air. At a certain point, you have to ask the guy to stop putting himself in a situation where he has to show resolve. Like, it's nice to have, but stop being the one that makes you.
I used to say that about Andrew Luck.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's called him Captain Comeback, and I was like,
"Well, stop letting him get giant leads."
Yeah. But anyway,
I think I'm out on Miami. I think I'm out on Miami. That ACC's a mess, though.
Is Texas A&M good?
Yes. I don't know if I think they can win a national championship, but they are good.
How about your boys celebrating at half and then getting fired? How about the gamut of emotions for old Shane?
Unbelievable.
I do. I think we are at a crossroads, though, and it wasn't just because Sark said it.
Like Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yes. Meet me at the crossroads.
You didn't think I knew that one, did you?
You should. That's trendy. That's pop culture enough.
All
it's
right.
not super cultural.
All right.
Like ethnic, where it would lose you. I think it has enough crossover.
Okay.
I mean, your guys were playing that at parties too, I'm sure.
I mean, your guys.
Your friends. Jermaine and those guys.
Jermaine and Cliff.
Yeah. Okay. So you're not sure on A&M?
I don't know if I think they can win a national title. They're 100% playoff caliber. I don't know if I think that they're like, do I think they're better than Ohio State, Indiana? No, I don't think so.
Is Oregon good?
Not national title good, playoff good. I don't trust their offense.
So you had to have whittled your national. So you started at around 6 about a month ago.
Yeah.
You have to be less than 6 now.
Let's see. Let's count them. Let's count them up. I'm going to bring up the rankings.
Because this is one of those years I feel like in the NFL too, where I don't know if I could see a team.
Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia.
So you think Ohio State's good?
Yeah.
You think Indiana's good?
Yeah.
But you don't know why Penn State's favored by 9.5.
Listen, I mean, I don't think Oregon can win a national title either, and they hung in there with Indiana.
Okay. Like, I don't know if I like that analogy, but I'll ride with it for now.
I'm not sure on Texas Tech. I probably need to go back and rewatch some games on them.
You got to be down to about 4 teams you think can win it.
Yeah, I also
see. That's why I think buys are important. And I'm going to talk to CYNTHIA about this in the NFL.
I don't know on Ole Miss either.
I don't know if there's an NFL team I feel confident could win 3 games in a row in the playoffs.
Somebody's gonna.
Somebody may only have to win 2 though. The bye.
Oh yeah. Is it 2 now? To get there.
Yeah.
To get there. Okay, yeah. I was like, you gotta win 3 to win it. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Does there seem like a team that's gonna win 3 in a row without a bye in the NFL to get to the Super Bowl?
No, I think the bye is gonna be very.
It's gonna
important.
be huge.
I think the bye is gonna be very.
It feels
important.
like
because I think the top is too close to the middle for the bye.
I feel the same way in college football. Like the bye is paramount.
Yeah, I think whoever wins out of Ohio State, Indiana, in the Big Ten title game has a huge advantage. I do think Georgia can win a national title. I don't know what to do with Ole Miss. Saturday bothered me a lot. I don't think they're efficient enough. Like I think they give away too many opportunities for against better teams. That's going to get them. So I don't think Ole Miss is in. I don't know what to do with Texas Tech. I think I'm Big 12 penalizing them. But I also think that Utah's really good and they beat the brakes off of them. Okay. So if my 4th team is probably Texas Tech.
All right.
Who am I missing that
we're scraping? I don't know.
Is there any team that you're like you're absolutely dead wrong on them when you say you're not sure if they go to a national title? Because the guys that I skipped were A&M, Ole Miss, Oregon, Oklahoma.
God, A&M could turn around and lose to Texas.
That's what I mean. And they would still obviously make the playoff, but I don't know. I don't trust A&M. Maybe it's an A&M thing. I just figure they're gonna A&M at some point. But I don't trust it.
I have to think about the brackets. I think, and I get it, there's some talk already about out-of-conference stuff and scheduling. Seedings will absolutely matter this year. And I think you have to look at who you beat, not who you lost to. So I still think out-of-conference is going to have some merit. We'll see how dicey the seeding gets this year.
So skip the bracket. If you're just making your list, skip the bracket, take them in a vacuum. I think this team is good enough to win a national title. Did I miss anybody that you think they absolutely can? Because I think the A&M is probably the one I would get the most pushback on. A&M or maybe Oregon, I think, from people.
You don't think? No, they're going to have to win out, and they've got A&M on the schedule. If Oklahoma beats A&M, you better add them to the list.
If Mateer starts to look like he's healthy, then
I'm just telling you, if Oklahoma beats A&M, you better add them to the list.
If Mateer starts to look like he's healthy, I'll add him to the list.
If they beat him, then what difference does it make how he looks?
It matters in my heart, DB.
Okay. It's a little much for. Speaking of your heart.
Yeah.
Have you allowed yourself? Now it's a little premature. Sipulation.
I think I know what you're going to ask here.
Have you allowed your heart to grasp the concept that Creighton may not be the best team in the state?
Oh, that is not what I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were going to go real off book on me. Yeah, Nebraska looks pretty good.
What? That's the first week in December? Or is it right
December
after?
7th.
Yeah.
December 7th. Yep. Which that game could have an over-under of 180.
You keep saying that. I don't know. Although Porter was very effusive with Nebraska's offensive philosophy.
He was.
Being able to play through the post and play pick and pop, which is rare.
Yeah. Especially college.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a lot of bigs that can both handle have good decision-making with the ball and shoot the ball.
I'll ask Sam this too.
Mass looks like a better shooter than he did 2 years ago.
So what I asked this last week,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask again. Do you think we grasp the magnitude of when people say, wait till Mass comes back? When he wasn't playing last year. Were we like, man, wait till Rink gets back?
I'll be honest. I thought Nebraska fans were grasping at straws. I thought they were.
He's pretty good.
No, he's really, really good.
And do you know what else I'm happy about? Because
what's that?
It means that I wasn't just lacking objectivity, even though it's early. But I told you Price can do a lot more than just shoot.
Yeah.
But I had the advantage of seeing him for 2 summers.
Yeah, you've seen him. Yeah, he's really good.
He's good.
Honestly,
what I tell you my favorite thing was about him.
I don't remember.
This dude will step on your throat.
Okay.
He is uber competitive.
A little bit of a killer.
Yes. And enjoys it. I think it runs in the family. I'm dead serious.
I thought in the portal, I really wanted him at Creighton.
He's good.
Listen, I'm not mad about getting Josh Dix. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted both of them. Like I really wanted Sanford. I really liked him a lot coming out of Iowa. But I'm prepared for that. Like I don't know what to think of this Creighton team yet. I really don't.
I'm not going to temper my expectations because I thought Creighton could be really good.
I do too.
I still do.
I don't think they are yet. I think they've got a ways to go.
It's going to take some time.
But I have no. Why? You can't do that, man.
What did he say?
He said December 7th will now be Ravi's day of infamy. Let's make a little Pearl Harbor joke there.
Oh, wow. Jeez, Wyatt.
Why? You can't do that, man.
All right, I can finally read now.
I think Creighton's further from being the team I think they could be right now, and Nebraska's came together pretty quick. Like the re-addition of Mast has been a bigger factor than I was ever going to think.
Traven, I don't know why I thought they played A&M. It's LSU in Missouri.
Yeah. I
wishful thinking.
Still think if it depends. For me, it 100% just depends on how much
watch LSU?
I don't think I did this week.
Coach Bump?
Oh, that was last week, I thought, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, it takes.
Oh, yeah, give him a little extra.
Yeah, to settle.
I didn't see. Who did they play?
I don't know.
Week? I missed LSU this week.
Green was putting on a clinic.
Oh, was that Arkansas?
Yes.
Yeah.
That dude, that's the guy.
I do kind of like watching him.
That people thought he was going to be last year.
Yeah. He's been. I'd have to look at his stats. Anytime I've checked in on Arkansas this year, like he puts up just stupid numbers.
He's immensely talented.
Yeah. He needs to play somewhere other than Arkansas. If I had my druthers.
I just want to know who's going to get all these jobs.
I was talking to somebody who will remain nameless because I don't want him to get in trouble. Speaking of guys playing other places next year, and I'm not talking about Nebraska, so chill, people. I have started hearing some things already about guys that are currently occupied.
In Lincoln?
No, not in Lincoln. This is an SEC. One of their coaches got fired.
Really?
This was before he got fired.
Yeah, we'll have to talk.
There's apparently the tampering world is alive and well in college football.
Oh, you talking about down in Auburn?
Nope.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Well, a lot of rumors going around in Auburn.
Well, yeah. You think anybody wants another crack at Jackson Arnold?
No.
No. I try. That was one that, like, under the radar, I was like, that guy's not good.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he's Hugh Freeze, Auburn.
You realize if it's trick or treat and you say boo, that's not tampering. He's already done.
What if it happened before the trick or treat?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's take a quick break here. We're going to talk to Sam McKEWON coming up here at 8 o'clock. We will talk to CYNTHIA FRELUND from NFL Network at 9. Then we've got Ben McLAUGHLin from the Husker Radio Network at 9:30. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Well, that's a heck of a team, a well-coached team, and it's just a great win for our program. That being said, I didn't love our start, where obviously, we get down 10-0 right out of the chute. And I thought Oklahoma threw the first punch, and they were the more physical team early in that game. And, I give our guys a lot of credit. They found a way to withstand it. We talked before the game that the biggest thing that would win this is how we handled adversity. And, I thought we did that well, especially when we got down 16, I think. We dug ourselves that hole in the first half, and then we started finding the mismatch. We slowed down. We, their switching bothered us early in the half, but once we, got the ball to the right guy and took our time and got the ball inside, we started scoring it, and that got us a little rhythm. And that's what was able to cut it to striking distance to get it to 7 before half, and then, dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. I think got back down double digits, and then, we went on an unbelievable run. And, a big thing I think with that is we started getting deflections. We started getting our hands on balls, and that led to some runouts and, some transition shots.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
We just kind of had to get used to their pressure. We knew they were going to come out pressuring us a lot, denying all the passing lanes, stuff like that. And we just needed to figure out how to, fake drive, stuff like that. So I think we got better at that as the game went on.
Yeah, I think our guards did a great job of handling that initial pressure and then getting easy looks at the rim. So it really worked out. Yeah, I think like I said, we knew they were going to be physical, so coming in and kind of sparked us with some boards early, and I think that really gets me going. And then just, my teammates did a great job early of dishing me the ball down low, just a lot of easy looks. So we do a great job of playing off of each other, and I think when we're able to do that, it allows for us to have, breakout performances kind of. So, yeah, my teammates did a great job of getting me the ball. So, yeah, she was really physical, really athletic. We knew we were going to kind of have our hands full, but just, embracing that physicality and boxing her out especially. She's super active, super athletic. So just coming in, knowing personnel, knowing the scout, and just trying to do it the best we can.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Good, better, bad. Good, better, bad. Never let it rest. Never let it rest. You're good, get better. You're good, get better. You better get better. You better get better. Bears on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Everybody just butchers that team thing. They make it their own. There's only one, and it started at Nebraska. Drives me up the wall. Well, that is another gutty win by your Bears, man. How are you feeling?
By your first place Chicago Bears.
You think I'm going to complain? I love it. No, it's great. Now you got a lead over the Lions after last night, and it's going to get real though. Now they get the Steelers and the Eagles and the Packers all back to back. So we're gonna learn a lot about them. But they're doing a lot of the things that I like to see. They run the ball. They play some defense. They play pretty good pass defense. They take away the ball, and they get a special teams play when they really needed it. So they did all the things that you need to do to win on the road, and they did it. And now it's going to get real. The next 3-game stretch will tell you a lot about whether they're a contender or a pretender. Because if they go 2-1 in that stretch, I'd say they're going to the playoffs. If they go 0-3, I'd say they're not.
Sam, let me ask you this, because I always wonder when fans have gone through prolonged lapses of losing, right? At what point of winning will you be happy this year? Like where can they get to and you say, hey, I'm not, at no point after this can I be disappointed?
I mean, they're not there yet, I would say.
Is it making the playoffs, or is that too low?
Yeah, that's not quite where I see it. I mean, I want to see the Bears franchise get to the point where they're a consistent contender that's commensurate with the fan support that they have and the city they live in.
I just mean this year.
Yeah, well,
okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I mean, I think I want to see them get to the point where it's an annual occurrence. So the Commanders last year had a great season. I think a lot of people understood that was going to be hard to duplicate based on the way they had won last year and the fact that people are just going to catch up a little bit to Jaden Daniels. Obviously he's hurt, so that doesn't help their cause. But I want the Bears to get to that point where they're a repeat team. And so that means getting a really big season. That means getting some momentum and, winning 13 this year and getting to the playoffs, but also, winning in the playoffs. And maybe you don't make it all the way to the Super Bowl. But to be clear, they have good players on that team. They have actually quite a few at this point. And so it was time to win. And I'm glad that they got the coaches they've got. But they're not a pleasant surprise, but they got players on that team, and they actually have for 3 or 4 years. So it was time to see this kind of jump, and I'm glad that they've made it. Now I'd love to see them get to the second round of the playoffs, maybe, or win the division. That would be great. That's a hell of a division. So if you're doing that, then you're doing something, and it would mean a lot. I think a lot of people think they're not very good based on their last couple of years, and that's not wrong. But they actually, again, they have players. They almost went into Detroit last year on Thanksgiving and beat them, and probably would have beat them if it wasn't for Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus screwing it up.
Sam, some people I feel like the Bears were they weren't trendy, but a lot of people thought
they could make a jump.
A big jump. How much of that, we'll just stay with the Bears here for a second. Just how much of that do you think has to do with other teams in the division as you look at it right now with your fluid expectations versus what you think the Bears are capable of?
Well, with the Vikings, it definitely has something to do with them. So that they went 1-1 against the Vikings, but definitely what's going on in Minnesota is a mess, and it's too bad for that coach. He's a hell of a coach. So I think they've got more good players than the Bears do, and so I think they should be, by all accounts, a little disappointed up there, and I think they are. Outside of that, I don't know. I mean, the schedules anymore are really challenging. So, like, what the Lions have had to experience is harder than what the Bears have had to experience because of who you draw and the teams that you have to play. And so the Bears had an easier schedule. I mean, the Chiefs have a ridiculously hard schedule, and now they got to go play the Colts. And so that stuff accumulates. The Broncos beat them fair and square yesterday, but the Broncos have had an easier go of it. They've had some easier games, and so
I still think Denver's pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good on defense. Best pass rush in the NFL. Nick Benito ruined Nebraska back in 21. If people remember that game, they couldn't block him the whole game. Well, they haven't been able to block him all season in the NFL. They have an incredible defense. They're pretty good. They're kind of like the Chiefs were last year. I mean, they're winning a lot of close games. But I think some of it is the division teams, that the schedules they get, and then just some of the out-of-the-gate inconsistency. You would never have picked the Packers to lose to the Browns, but they did, and the Bears have to play the Browns still and can't lose to them.
Shoot, the Ravens almost lost to the Browns. I don't know. Maybe the Browns are better than we.
The Cleveland Browns have good players too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about Cleveland. They don't have that many good players on offense. And right now, Jerry Jeudy's pretty good and Njoku's good. They have a lot of good players on the defense. Yep. Like a lot. They have the second best, or maybe the best defensive player in the league in Myles Garrett. But then they got corners, they got linebackers. They have the absolute worst quarterback situation in the NFL. And people saw that yesterday. We're watching on Red Zone, Molly and I, and obviously Shedeur comes in. And she's a Browns fan, and I guess I am too. So, like, we're rooting for Shedeur to do well. But I'm like, Molly, this isn't going to go well. I'm just telling you. Based on preseason, and we watched all of his games in preseason. So, like, she's like, hey, perfect timing. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And we're kind of, he comes out and he's kind of egging the crowd on, and we start laughing. And she's a Chiefs fan too. So, like, they got the double box on the Chiefs Broncos. And then when both those games are over, she's like, well, that was a crap ending to both of those games. I'm like, I know. Well, I was like, I don't care about the Chiefs, but they're not my team by any stretch of the imagination. But it was too bad. Shedeur wasn't very good. I walked away to, like, do something for him, and I'm like, what happened? She's like, oh, Shedeur got a intentional grounding penalty right near the goal line. No, that's not good. So, he's got a long way. Anybody who thought he was going to come in and, like, create magic was wrong. He was 4 of 16.
I'll give you the opportunity to tackle both of them, but which team do you think is closer to the early season? It's not even hype. I think we're more hopeful, although Porter injected a lot of Husker blood campaign into our veins. Nebraska women's basketball or Nebraska men's basketball?
Well, I think the women's team is going to be good, and so that doesn't surprise me. Their success early. Weird game yesterday.
Yeah.
Sleepy. Again, when the officials come out and they call that many fouls early, and your calling card is defense.
So, and what were there against Creighton? There were like 46 against Creighton too, right? Is it the way they're playing?
Oh, yeah. Nebraska's defense has changed from last year. So they've and you kind of could sense they needed to do this. I thought they've needed to do it for a while. They've decided, they're going to try to create offense with defense. And no, so they're extending their defense into the backcourt with pressure, and whether it was NIL money or whatever, they actually went out and got the depth to do it. And you need guard depth is what you need. And so they went out and got a gal from Northwestern, Haley Weaver, who's good. And then Amy's daughter is really the perfect teammate, because Kennedy Williams' job is to go out, and she's only 5'4", but there's an advantage in her being that size. She can get underneath almost any guard that she might guard, and all her main job is just make their life hell coming up the court, and she's good at it. And she was good at that in high school too, and she's really, really good at it. So she's got great feet because she's a multi-sport athlete. And yesterday, I think she had like 4 assists and 2 steals. So her job is not to score, but just to distribute and to play defense. And so she's the second wave. So they have actually 2 whole waves of players they can bring in where they're going to do that defensively. Now, when they get in the Big Ten and they play Michigan, who's really good, that's not going to be so easy. They're not just going to do that to everybody. But they'll do that to most teams. The Nebraska men's team, you know, they have a lot of success shooting threes up there in the Sanford Pentagon, and that was a fun game. That was the most fun game that Nebraska's played in a while. Both teams. It looked like a Big 8 game from 30 years ago. So I thought it was awesome. And you know, they're going to need those kind of performances because defensively they're not going to be elite. I think they know that. And you know, you just hope they can keep getting that from Rick Mast every night. Like, if they can get that from him, they're gonna have a 22 or 23 win season because Mast was, you know, unbelievable in the second half of that game, and he was unbelievable.
I gotta ask, so you know, last year the notion was kind of when Nebraska was treading water, it was, well, they're playing without Mast. Wait till Mast gets back. And real time, kind of when this conversations were happening, you could hear it. Did you believe real time that him not playing was going to look the way it does this year when he is playing? I mean, maybe those people were right.
Well, I didn't think he would have the game that he had Saturday night. No, like I don't anticipate him having a bunch of games where he looks like he should play in the NBA, but he did. And yeah, I think what I envisioned for him, and I've said this to people, is I'm like, if Rink Mast doesn't have to be their leading scorer and they have other guys who can do that, they're going to be pretty good. Because I kind of envisioned Rink being like 12 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3.5, 4 assists. So like being a really good player, but not having to carry them from a scoring perspective. If he scores like that and shoots like that, like he did that in the exhibition game against, I can't even remember, BYU. If he's doing that all season long, they're going to be really good because Sanford already does that. And then they have other guys that can go score too. And if Mast is playing like that, it just makes it very, very hard to guard them because he's 6'10" and Sanford is 6'9", and you can't guard them both equally. You can't double both of them. So if he's able to do that and he plays like that, I think they're going to be very, very good. Now their schedule is very, very hard. So once you get past the non-conference, they play New Mexico, and then they play, I don't know, Kansas State or Mississippi State. Probably Mississippi State. If they win, they get New Mexico. Their Big Ten schedule is very, very hard. So there's no guarantees there. They could go 9-11 in the Big Ten and make the NCAA tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. They're going to have to pack a lunch to win in the Big Ten because Big Ten's it's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good.
Well, I mean, like they could have 3 teams in the top 10 with Purdue, Illinois, and Michigan, maybe.
Yeah, I'm surprised Michigan's ranked as high as it is. But that said, they're never great against the upper tier. They usually go and snag one. So they'll beat. They probably won't beat Purdue, but they'll go and beat Illinois. They'll take somebody by surprise. They did it last year. Where they've got to be better is in the middle class.
I think Illinois is pretty good.
They are. That's my point. Yeah. Is that they beat Illinois last year. They'll take one of those, but they'll finish like 1-3 or 1-4. Like they'll lose to Michigan State like they always do, but they've got to do better against the middle class of the league. That means you got to go get one against Iowa. You got to go get one against Wisconsin. You have to go get one.
You got to beat Ohio State, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
because I think even they've started out 4-0. Now I think their best. I think Notre Dame is probably the toughest team they played, but Indiana looks much improved. You know, they're well coached.
Right.
Like the league is, I don't know.
It's good. It's good. And the middle class of the league is what you're going to watch because that's where Nebraska wants to be. I think I did the expenses last year and I'll do them again in January. Nebraska's like Troy Dannon told Tom Chattel. They're about middle third in terms of expenses. They're not last. They're not at the bottom. So there's some teams that aren't spending very much money, including Minnesota. But they're kind of in the middle third, and they need, like, Maryland's not great, so go beat Maryland. Like, they're not. That's not a great team. They lost to Georgetown, beat Marquette. So you just gotta find a way to beat the middle class of the league and get to 21 or 22 wins, and then, you know, go knock the door down in the Big Ten tournament. Again, if Mass is this good as a scorer and he's playing this well, then maybe you up the expectations a little bit, because I wasn't anticipating him being an 18 point a game scorer, and right now he's playing like that's what he's gonna be.
Yeah, Sam,
you have to. He's gonna get fouled. Which, by the way, it seemed like a high number. You're talking about how clunky the women's game was. That's 85 fouls called between Creighton and North Dakota State.
Yeah,
85 total in those games. Like whistles were blowing a lot.
They were. In Nebraska, there's two things that, if you're following Nebraska women's basketball, to keep in mind. One, they will sacrifice some turnovers for quick and easy baskets. I hear this from people all the time, like, Nebraska commits too many turnovers. I'm like, they're willing to sacrifice a couple of turnovers if they can throw the ball ahead and get a layup. That's their philosophy. So they're not going. So there was a couple moments where somebody, you know, Jessica Petrie threw a ball up ahead, and it was too long. They're okay with that. They want the easy basket more than they're worried about making the perfect pass every single time. The other thing is, now they're going to be willing to trade some fouls for steals because they have the depth. Now, that may change if a couple players get hurt, but at the moment, they have Britt Prince and Haley Weaver and Callan Hake in the first wave, and then they have Logan Nisley, Claire Johnson, and Kennedy Williams in the second wave. So long as they can have 6 guards that are constantly flowing in the game, then they will trade a couple of fouls for steals and easy baskets. And so long as those things remain true. Now, she has not had that kind of depth before, and I thought she always kind of kept a tight roster, not enough players. But this year, they got them. And before the season, I asked her, I said, did the injuries to Widener and Potts, which really derailed the last 2 seasons around there, I said, did that convince you to go with a larger roster so that when these players got hurt, you didn't feel like you were caught short? And she sort of admitted that. Like, I think that's true. And now they're not short at guard. They have more than enough, and they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. Now, the league they're playing in is crazy hard. The Big Ten women's basketball is, you know, if they go 8-10, and they'll make the NCAA tournament. Like, that's how good the Big Ten women's basketball is.
Yeah, and the men, I think, as a conference so far, I think are 57-4 to start the season. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
And they've had some marquee matchups.
When does Michigan State play Duke and lose to Duke like they do every year? Is that coming up?
Wow.
It happens every year.
Yeah.
He used to lose all the time to Coach K, and then he beat Coach K right at the end.
Well,
then now he loses to Shire all the time.
Well, they got a super tough schedule.
That's December 6th.
There you go.
Yeah, well, they play Kentucky, they play Carolina, they play Duke.
Oh yeah. That's why kids go there. They get the best schedule in the country.
Play Kentucky tomorrow.
Listen, from the 18th to the 6th. Okay, so tomorrow till the day before Nebraska Creighton, they'll have played Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke.
Yeah. There's that program. I don't know that there's a Big Ten football comparison to them. Maybe Oregon football. I don't know. But like when they come in with the black uniforms, I love the black uniform they have with the Spartan right in the middle. When they come in with that and they come into Lincoln and then they start, and Hoiberg tries to tell his team every year, they're going to go faster than you think. And then they go faster than Nebraska thinks. That's always kind of a cool look. I have a lot of respect for that program. They never win the big one, but they come in and spank Nebraska pretty good every other year.
Well, you can't be happy about that, Sam. Well, I suppose you could.
Sam,
it's a cool look when they come in. I'm like, yeah, that team looks like they play college basketball.
Ravi's mad about Penn State laying 9.5.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. I think it's stupid. But
he's got his Penn State colors on today too. By the way, Sam, you can't see him, but you'd be a.
I look good in Navy. What do you want me to do? Sam, were you? I mean, do you think Penn State is 10 points better than Nebraska? I guess I'll just start there.
I don't. I think Penn State's favored, and I thought Penn State should be favored in the game, though. Yeah. I think they've got a lot of good players, and it's not a question of the caliber of their players outside of their quarterback who got hurt, and he's a good player, but he was up and down. Outside of him, they're pretty healthy, and now that they've won a game, maybe they're like looking around and going, okay, now let's go make a bowl game and mess up everybody's life, you know. Whoever their new coach is going to be, and I don't think we know. I mean, there's been no intel, so to speak, on it. I think they're gonna be hard to beat. Yeah, I think they're gonna be a very physical, very run-based team. Senior night, not gonna be easy. And Nebraska again is still beat up. They're just, you know, I will ask Rule today. I didn't learn anything over the week about how they healed up. I assume they've healed up pretty well, but you know, they're banged up, and I think Penn State's probably healthier, and I think that probably helps. And you know, we'll have to see. Now Penn State's going to run the ball over and over again, no joke there, and their running backs are both going to play in the NFL.
So, they have a first round offensive lineman too, so that doesn't hurt.
They do. Yeah, they got a pretty good tight end. He's been up and down, but he's pretty good. Their quarterback is a talented player. He's still kind of learning. He's, you know, kind of like a baby giraffe back there, but he's getting better. And yeah, there's, you know, I don't think 10 points, but if you told me Penn State 20, Nebraska 17, and it was probably not quite that close, it wouldn't surprise me. I think Nebraska's got a chance to win the game, but they have to play really well. They're going to have to possess the football. They're going to have to be efficient on third down. They're going to have to deal with whatever that crowd is at night. The weather's, I don't know what the weather is going to be yet. Do we know?
I think 51 and overcast I saw. That might have changed. Okay. Yeah, it's not awful.
That's okay. Yeah, you know, I'll try to put my ear to the ground and see how healthy the defense is by the end of the week, and that'll probably shape what my prediction is. I think Nebraska's offense needs to find a way to get to 21. 28 maybe. It's hard to say, depending on how healthy the defense is, whether, you know, everything's – because that's sometimes that can go one of two ways. A, you can push so hard as a team that you kind of stay healthy until the bye week, and then it all kind of – your body kind of relaxes, and then it all kind of falls apart. More often you see guys get that heel up, and so, like, they might have been at 74%, and now they're maybe at 89%. And they can go and you know, smack a team around and all that. So that'd be my take so far.
So Sam, I just am trying to figure this out, okay? Because
are you mad?
I'm not mad. I just am a little confused because Penn State loses 6 straight games. They beat a 3-6 Michigan State team. And like, I get some of those games were close and whatever. I'm having a hard time getting there with Penn State. I know they have good players, but as I like to ask DB all the time, if they've got good players, why don't they play good?
Right.
It matters at some point, right? And we have a pretty big sample size of them not playing good.
We do. I think that they played really well against Indiana. So they just lost to a really good team right at the end. And then thought they played well against Michigan State. Again, I kind of assess to some degree where Nebraska is and what their situation is. And like Minnesota is I think a 6-point dog at Northwestern. And I think that the loss to Minnesota has sort of shaped some of the lines that have come since then a little bit. And so that's still not a good loss. Minnesota's not, and you know, I think you guys have pointed this out before the game. Minnesota's not a really good team. They're not great. And so I think losing 24-6 to Minnesota probably shifts the line a little bit. Maybe they'll get some Nebraska money and that thing goes down to 6.
Well, that'd be a lot.
It would, yeah.
3 points, that'd be a lot.
It could happen. And yeah, I have watched a lot of Penn State football in the last month, and
me too.
Again, I don't know that the records are entirely indicative of like everything. Like you have to look at the way they're playing and the style of football they're playing. The UCLA game is an anomaly. The Northwestern game happened, but they took Oregon and Indiana to the wire, and both those teams are really good. So, yeah, they lost at Iowa by 1 or 2, and Iowa's really good, and Penn State played really well in that game. So, like, I don't know. I think their schedule's way, way harder than Nebraska. I think that would be part of what I would say. Well, I should say their conference schedule has. Their non-conference schedule was weak, but their conference schedule, I think, has been harder than Nebraska. Just to be candid, Nebraska won at UCLA and Maryland, and there were about 9 fans from the opposing team in the stands. So, like, I'm not trying to knock those wins because they're impressive. I want to be clear. It is hard to win on the road in the Big Ten, and Nebraska should tip its cap to itself for having done that. But those games were neutral site games. They were not really true road games. This will be a true road game. They will stick 1,000 Husker fans up at the top of the stadium. There will not be 10,000 fans going to that place in mid-November, late November. It will be a road game, and Nebraska will have to play through it. And the last true road game they had didn't go so well. So, like, I don't want to knock anything that Nebraska's accomplished. I will say that I think Penn State's conference schedule has been more challenging than Nebraska. That's just my reading.
You think Penn State would trade results at UCLA with Nebraska?
They would, but again, Penn State had to play the other 3 teams that are in the college football playoff rankings right now: Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon. I think Penn State would trade Nebraska's schedule because Nebraska hasn't played any of those teams. So if you traded out Penn State's conference schedule with Nebraska's, I don't know that they would have lost as many games. And I don't know that Nebraska would have won any of those games. And I don't know that Nebraska would have won at Iowa. So, like, I think that's part of the conversation that's worth at least considering, is that's part of, that's part of the challenge. Now, again, if I were picking today, I would say for me personally, it's a pick 'em. So I picked Nebraska to beat UCLA, and UCLA was the favorite. I picked Nebraska to lose to USC, and USC was the favorite. Right now, I don't know. I think Nebraska might win. They might lose. I don't think the offense will be the issue. I think they can go out to Penn State and, put 325 yards on the board and 3 touchdowns. I kind of want to know what the defense can do. Like, can the defense go out there and stop a very, very physical, hard-edged Penn State run offense and just stop it? And because they're going to have to. If they can stop that run game and get that quarterback in 3rd and long, then Nebraska's going to win the game. I think it comes down to that.
I'm just telling you guys, I don't think this is – I don't know. Curious what you think. If Nebraska won, this would maybe not far and away, this would be the most talented team Nebraska beat.
This season? Yes, agreed. No question.
Well, I think since he's been here.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So I just want to quantify that.
I agree.
Like, this is the most talented team that they would have beaten if they won. Do you disagree?
No
with
question,
that, Ravi.
No, but I also,
that's what I'm saying though. So
the talent. I'm not arguing with the talent.
Well, that's what it is.
I'm not arguing with the talent, but at some point, like, we have to stop talking around the results the talent has gotten you.
Yeah, so, I think what I would say is
that could be mutually exclusive. I don't disagree with you. Go ahead, Sam.
I think I've listened to a lot of Penn State commentary because Rule was whatever, and mentioned in those searches. So I paid close attention to what was going on there. I think that they have a mismatch in their offensive coordinator needs a different kind of quarterback, and they've never quite figured that out.
Well, Gruckemeyer is kind of more Kotelnicki style than I think Aller is.
A little bit. And then defensively, and I don't know if this is quite true, But what they report out there is that the defensive players don't understand his defense. So they don't understand what he's trying to accomplish. So I don't know if that's true, but that's sort of been the criticism. Is now their defense looked pretty good against Indiana and Michigan State, but so maybe it's coming along. I know there's some weird conversation out there about, well, if you take the job here, will you also take Jim Knowles' contract? Make him the defensive coordinator? I don't know if that's true or not, but that seems strange to me. If they were running a defense that was a little bit more simplistic, maybe they would have won more games. I don't know. The only 2 losses on their schedule that you look at and go, now those don't make any sense, are UCLA, and I think it's documented why they lost that game. And that was their defense. And then the Northwestern game, which is, you know what? Northwestern nearly Northwestern missed.
Yeah, they did.
And so they know how to do this. Like, they're good at it. And Michigan's actually pretty good. Sheromore made a comment after that game. He's like, teams that have 5 turnovers don't win games. Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, you're right. You actually won this game despite being 0-9 Iowa State. I was like, this is impressive. I'm like, you actually found a way to win despite throwing it away over and over again. So anyway, the point being that, like, I think Penn State, they lost to Oregon, they lost to Ohio State, they lost to Indiana, and they lost at Iowa. Those are all really, really hard games to play. And I don't know if Nebraska would have won any of those games, just to be perfectly candid. So, that's why I think that it accounts for some of it. And again, Penn State's offensive and defensive lines are pretty good. My understanding is they're relatively healthy. The running backs are healthy. Do I think that I think it'll be a chess match between their OC and Butler. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's the hardest game Nebraska's had to play in a while. Actually.
Me too.
Hardest game that they've had to play in the Big Ten.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So even harder than USC. Because that game was at home.
I don't even think it's close. You don't even have to rationalize it, Sam. I think you're right.
I think Michigan's closer to USC.
Well, that's fine. Like, if you want to say the Michigan game was a harder matchup, I agree with that because of the way they play, and that I can concede that. And I think Michigan's a better team than Penn State. But going out there and playing, it's a long trip. There's no easy way to get there. It is like playing in a different place. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just different.
Hey,
it's a very big stadium.
Shoot, I want to go rapid fire with you. All right. How are you getting there? Or do you only travel to get there one way? Because some people like driving in, some people fly in. So what do you like doing?
We will fly to Pittsburgh and we will drive in.
Yeah. Enjoy that drive,
yeah.
Boy. You gutsy.
Yeah. So after the game, we'll be driving through the mountains at night.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun.
No. I got a lot of other words. Not fun.
Right.
Scared to death. About as white as my knuckles can get. Hey, let me go rapid fire. Maybe not good team versus can win a championship, but it sounds like you have more respect for Iowa after the loss, right? To SC?
Yeah, I still have Iowa ranked. I might probably the only one. But yeah.
Okay, so
I was a good team.
I was good. Okay, is Georgia good?
Yes. Excellent.
Is Texas A&M good?
Yes.
Is Michigan good?
They're pretty good.
Is USC good?
Yes.
Is Oregon good?
Yes. They're good. Yep, they're good.
Is Oklahoma good?
Yes, excellent.
Wow, emphatic.
Georgia and Oklahoma are the two best teams out of those 2 years. Oklahoma's a really good team. They're hard schedule. Quarterback got hurt. Yeah, they're good. They belong in the playoffs.
Wow, we're in lockstep.
If they get there, I don't know if they're going to win a game. You know who's the most dangerous team right now for the playoffs? You already know who I'm going to say, don't you? It's Notre Dame.
I can't believe this segment. Sam, you're busy. Like, you're like a real person. You're not listening to this show.
No,
We're almost
I haven't heard you talk about Notre Dame.
We're almost in locks. I just told Rob. I was just talking about Notre Dame. I couldn't agree more with you.
I think if I was going to pick the final right now, I would pick Ohio State against either Georgia or Notre Dame, or Notre Dame against Georgia. That would probably be where I'd be at. Like, I don't know where Notre Dame's going to land in the pecking order. Like, if they're going to be on Ohio State's side or they're going to be on Georgia's side.
Sam, I'm gonna give you a dark horse because they're lights out championship caliber defensively. If Oklahoma beats LSU and Missouri, Oklahoma is right there. That defense is way above elite.
They're great. I agree. So what's going to happen with OU is if they make the playoff, I think they're going to get one of these deals where they're like a 9 or something.
I told you, seeding is it's going to so matter.
It's going to pair. They're going to pair off in a bad way. Like, they're going to end up having to play. Here's an interesting question: if you're the number 1 seed in the college football playoff and you're Ohio State, and I don't know that it will be. I think Indiana could beat them. But if you're the number 1 seed, where do you choose to play? Do you choose to play in the Rose Bowl if you're Ohio State, or do you play in the Sugar Bowl? Or do you play in I think Atlanta? I don't know. I can't remember where all the games are, but where do you choose to play? Do you play in Atlanta? Do you play in New Orleans? Do you play in Dallas? Or do you play in the Rose Bowl? Remember, last year, Ohio State didn't have a choice. They had to go out and play Oregon because Oregon wanted to play in the Rose Bowl. Well, this year, it's either going to be Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, or Texas A&M. The 4 teams that are kind of, picking and choosing. And we all know where Georgia would go. And I think we know where Texas A&M would go.
So of the aforementioned, at first blush, you know what it seems like to me? It seems like Indiana would care the least.
Oh, they'd go to the Rose Bowl. See, I'm almost certain.
Do you know what I mean? It seems like the controlled elements would bother Indiana or contribute to Indiana's success the least of the aforementioned teams.
Yep, I agree. I don't think they care that much. I think they would go to the Rose Bowl because they haven't been there. That would be the opportunity to do that versus going to a dome, which is where the other 3 games are.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a Big Ten team telling Pasadena no?
I can imagine Ohio State doing it. Yes, I can imagine. Yes, I think Ohio State would be like, "Yeah, we don't need to go there. We don't recruit out there. Let's go to Atlanta."
Yeah, you know what? You might be right.
Let's go to Atlanta. Let's go somewhere where we recruit players. Yeah, I could see them doing that. I don't think that would even be. Anyway, of all the teams you just mentioned, the 3 right now, and I don't have Notre Dame ranked 3rd. I can't do that because the rankings are backward looking and they take into account resume, not predicted.
Right. So do you think Notre Dame is better than Miami, even though Miami beat them?
Yeah. Much better than A&M. As forward looking to the playoff. Gotcha. But I can't rank Notre Dame ahead of A&M based on the fact that A&M actually accomplished something that Notre Dame didn't, which was winning that game in South Bend. But if you were to ask me today, okay, who are your top 4 teams to win the playoff? I'd say Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame. I don't think Indiana's got the horses. I think they'll fall short. I don't know who my 4th team would be. I'm not entirely sure.
You know the one thing you're missing with Indiana, though? Their resolve is silly. Like, you can't really quantify it, but you can kind of feel it. Their mental toughness is at an elite level.
It is. Maybe they're the 4th team I would look at, but I feel pretty good about the 3 that I just mentioned. Georgia's awfully good. They had one.
I agree.
Kind of goofy 4th down play against Alabama kept them from winning that game.
And their defense is starting to get it together, and they're running the ball better. Quietly, Frazier, they're running it a lot better.
They are. So last year they would have been my pick to win it, but then Beck got hurt and all this other stuff. But I would say those are the 3 that I look at the most closely. I guess we'll see. Oklahoma would be interesting. I put on Twitter, in so much that anyone in Nebraska could actually like a team from Oklahoma, this team's likable. Like, they're actually a really hard-nosed, non-finesse, tough-minded team that he's built there.
Dude,
and their quarterback,
they beat Alabama on the road without their best defensive player.
Right. Their quarterback is an awfully tough guy, and that's the kind of guy that you want. That's the kind of guy you want leading your team.
Listen, it's funny too what a difference that we could make, Sam. Is now DeBoer's got to win out to keep the natives off his back.
Yeah, he will. I think he'll do that. The one position, if I was going to say there was one position at Oklahoma that Oklahoma's gotten right, a lot of that because of Lincoln Riley, over the last 15 years, is they've gotten quarterback right. And so they had Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams
and Spencer Rattler and Jackson Darnold
and Dylan Gabriel. And they've gotten that position right. And in getting it right now with John Mateer, they've been really, really good. And, if you go back and you think about Oklahoma over the years, that's the position they've always gotten right. They've always had that guy, whether it was an option quarterback or it was a passer. Oklahoma's always had a quarterback, and they have one again. And when they have one, they're usually pretty damn good.
That's
fantastic.
Sam McKEWon.
We hit the whole gamut, Sam. I appreciate it.
From the Omaha World Herald. Sam, appreciate the time as always.
Take care.
We will talk to Sam again next week.
Yeah. No, they'll beat Eastern Illinois, but you better not lose to Auburn. I know that.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're really stretching themselves in their non-con in mid-November.
That's when they play the game.
That's just that's just what the SEC does. Got to get that extra bye weekend.
Is he going to be fine without getting to the playoffs and the 12-team playoff?
DeBoer?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. He's in trouble. If he doesn't make the playoff, he's in trouble. I mean, he just is. I've said that all year. I said that at the beginning of the year. If he doesn't make the playoff,
I got to look
at
the combinations of what he's got to be cheering for as a 2-loss team.
I mean, as a 2-loss team, there's a very decent chance the SEC gets 5 in.
No way.
3 are a lock.
Yeah.
Ole Miss,
yeah.
Texas A&M, and Georgia are locks. They are getting those 3 no matter what. Oklahoma, if they win out, is getting in.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alabama, if they win out, is getting in.
It's just going to start to compare 2-loss resumes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. But I think there is, and this is what I was. This is what I was afraid of. By the way,
no, you know what you need to cheer for.
What's that?
You need to cheer for Michigan to beat Ohio State and get in.
Absolutely, yes.
And take a spot.
You need Michigan to beat Ohio State because Ohio State's getting in no matter what. Indiana's getting in no matter what. Oregon, as long as they win out, they could probably take one more loss, still getting in. You need Michigan 100% to beat Ohio State. Yep, that's exactly correct. Because I don't think USC has a path to get in.
Well, they got Oregon this week.
Yeah, you probably need Oregon to win that one to make sure you get your third team real solid. But
it's an elimination game, in your opinion, for SC, but not Oregon?
It's not an elimination for Oregon, but if I'm a 2-loss Oregon and I'm sitting there,
then you got to go back to your best win.
And I don't feel great about it. And let me look at Oregon's best win right now because
Penn State, healthy Penn State.
It's Penn State, in which that they're not going to get credit for that anymore. So that's Iowa. At Penn State and then at Iowa. So the resume gets a little thin if they don't beat SC. So I'd rather it be if I'm trying to get 4.
I mean, that place was lit when Oregon went there.
That's fine. But again, if I'm not going to give credit to the SEC when they do this, I'm not going to give credit to the Big Ten when they do this. I'm not giving credit for people that beat Auburn when they were ranked. This Penn State has turned into a bad season. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but it's been a bad season. You don't get credit because they were 3 when you beat them.
Well, that's why I don't like
because they lost 6 more in a row after that.
That's why I don't like the record against top 25 teams for Nebraska.
I don't either because it's stupid. It doesn't make sense because I brought this up last week, I think, or whenever we were arguing about this last. You think, do you feel real good about beating a 4-8 Oregon team? Yeah, ranked win. Awesome. No, they were 4-8. That team sucked. I feel better about beating Colorado last year. I feel better about beating Cincy this year. That team was bad. Helfrich got fired for that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Last ranked win, though. Yeah, I got him. What are we You think Oregon's hanging their hat on? Oh, Penn State was third when we beat them. I mean, they might not make a bowl game now, but they were third when we beat them.
I am a little taken aback at why you're poo-pooing Penn.
Because at the end, at some point, the record matters. It has to. Let's go common opponents. Nebraska beat UCLA, beat Northwestern, beat Michigan State. Those are the 3 common opponents. They're 3-0 in those games. Penn State's 1-2 in those games. What am I supposed to do? And they lost their quarterback.
If Nebraska wins,
yeah,
will you not agree that that's the most talented team that Nebraska's beat in Coach Rule's tenure?
Beat, yes.
Okay.
I think Michigan is on par with what we saw from. I think Michigan is on par with his Penn State team.
So I just want you to, I'm just quantifying that for you.
Yeah, but I also they also beat a Colorado team last year that had the Heisman winner and an NFL quarterback, even if he didn't totally look like an NFL quarterback yesterday. But at the time, people thought he was a first-round draft pick, a quarterback.
Oh,
I
hear both. I can.
You know what I mean? Colorado was a pretty good team. That defense was way better than we gave him credit for last year. That was a good Colorado team.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy. I asked.
I think Penn State's better than that team, but I don't think it's leaps and bounds. That was a really good win last year. And because the season didn't end up how we totally wanted it, we kind of forget how good of a win it was. And that's fine. I get it.
Is the shakier that Indiana plays, is that not – because you realize Indiana beat – they had to go down to the wire to beat Penn State there.
Yeah. Does that tell you more about
Indiana's pretty good?
I do think Indiana's pretty good. But
just don't watch the first half against Wisconsin or
Penn State or or Oregon or they've played a harder schedule this year and they've struggled more than they did. But I don't know. At some point, I have to look at Penn State. I have to look at their record. I have to look at common opponents, and I have to say this team might very well be very talented. Florida State wasn't a 2-10 talent team last year. They weren't. They're probably not a 5-5 talent team this year. Clemson is not a 5-5 talent team, but guess what? They're 5-5. At some point, your record matters.
Did you watch his postgame?
No, I did. Davos? No, I did not.
Yeah. I was pouting Friday night, and I just was catching up.
Yeah.
It's like the tighter, the tougher this has been, the tighter my team gets, and the more they come together. And I was like, man, he's going to stay with it.
Congrats, bud. Congratulations. Nobody thought that you were top 5 coming into the year. Nobody cares how tight your team is. You're 5-5.
They were preseason 1 in some polls.
Yeah, nobody cares how tight your team is. You're 5-5. Congrats. Penn State's really coming together. They're 4-6.
Yeah.
At some point we've done this with Nebraska teams too much in the last decade for me to care about doing it to somebody else. Best 3-9 team in history. Congrats. You're 3-9. That doesn't make me feel better. It still sucks. You think any Penn State fan is like, oh, we're real talented though at 4-6. We went double overtime with Oregon. If it weren't for that crazy toe tap against Indiana, we were right there. Nobody cares about that in Happy Valley.
Yeah.
You think I don't know, man. I think we're grossly underestimating the things that have actually happened on a football field this year when we're talking about this game. At some point, that's one of the things that bothers me about people talking about the SEC. So when people do it to the Big Ten, it has to bother me too. And it does.
Yeah.
I don't care. Oh, man, but look at this. And they were pretty close here and whatever. And look at all the talent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how talented you are if you go 4-6. It really doesn't. Congratulations. You're going to be able to put out a nice flyer about your draft picks for recruiting season next year for a coach that you don't have yet.
Oh, boy. I can't get into the records thing, you guys, because A&M hasn't beat anybody with a winning record either. So
we don't mind that.
Oh wait,
Indiana didn't beat a ranked team at all last year. They made the playoff. We were cool with that, right?
No, I didn't say ranked. I said with a winning record.
I know, but I'm saying, we bring that with Indiana. We're like, oh man, why couldn't it happen? How come Nebraska couldn't do that? It's like, okay, cool. They hadn't beat a team with a ranked win last year either.
My man said call up Caesars. Oh, you and Josh should go round and round.
I will. I'll put my money where my mouth is. 9.5's too many. Give me some of that.
It's ridiculous.
Free money.
Well, it sounds like a segment we got at the end of the week.
That's a secret.
That's a secret.
Yeah, I do have to base it off something. I'm basing off of the football they've actually played this year. Crazy idea. I like to dive really deep in the metrics, like final score.
It's freaking bats.
I mean,
Angry Ravi's a funny Ravi.
and I'm not saying Nebraska's going to win. What I am saying is 9.5 is kind of crazy, and we're talking about Penn State like they haven't had the year that they had.
No, I'm all in on your philosophy. I told you I would have made it 7 or 8.
Okay, which still seems a little high to me, but it's not 10.5, which is where it started. That's wild.
7's just a fluky touchdown in a close game.
Totally fair. Yeah, totally fair.
It's a defensive score. It's a scoop score.
It's hey, we're it's a 1-point game. We tack one on late. It's over, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever. Like that's fine. 10.5 is different. 10.5 is saying you think this team is significantly.
It's going to come down.
Josh D'Lo says 8.5 now.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be at different books. All
right. Well, you keep banging that drum.
I am going to keep banging that drum.
I don't want to make the trip. So.
Oh, I mean,
total first world problem.
You want Grunkmeyer or Lateef at quarterback? I'm riding with my guy. I've seen some Grunkmeyer. I'm cool there. He might end up being a nice player. For now,
oh shoot,
pass.
Does Oregon seem like they're 9.5 better than SC? It's on the road.
No, I don't think that they're 9.5 better than SC.
Okay.
I think Oregon.
That's an early line to keep an eye on.
Oregon struggles more offensively than people.
Is Michigan 14 better than Maryland on the road?
Maybe. Seems a little high, but I would have said like 11.5 probably.
Josh is on it. It is currently sitting at 8.5.
I think
you want an all bizarro line again, and Florida's the king of them. What do you think they're catching at home against Tennessee? And I get the series history.
Florida's
3-7 Florida. They get favorable lines every week. Somebody, can you please find them ATS? Because every week we say, oh, but their defense will keep them in it. Somebody help me find Florida ATS while I'm having this conversation. What is Florida catching in Gainesville against Tennessee?
In Gainesville against Tennessee.
Now they opened. Never mind. What do you think the line is?
I'm going to say it is currently, because it's going to be, you're only asking me this because it's going to be lower than it should be. 6.5.
Top 25 Tennessee, number 23 ranked Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Now,
Florida
opened as the fave.
Good Lord. Florida's a really good analogy to Penn State this year. Like they're the SEC version of Penn State this year. I think.
A lot of respect because they have a lot of talent.
A lot of respect, a lot of talent. Guess what? They lose most of their games still.
Now, this is going to throw you.
I'm ready.
There's no way you come within 2 points of this line.
Probably not. Well, let's try it.
BYU travels to Cincinnati. 9-1, number 12 ranked BYU goes to 7-3, number 25 Cincinnati.
Coming off the loss there.
What is the line?
At Cincinnati?
At Cincinnati.
I'm going to say I think BYU should be favored, which also feels like a trap. I'm going to say
it's a trap.
BYU by 3.5.
Damn. It's BYU by 2.5.
I almost said 2.5. Shoot.
Guess who opened as the fave?
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
that's dumb. BYU's pretty good.
You're a trip.
Cincinnati's pretty good too, but BYU's pretty good, man.
Doesn't seem like Cincinnati has 3 losses, but they do.
No, what are they? It's Nebraska by 3. What's the second one?
They got hammered by no, they didn't get hammered, but disproportionate score. The second loss was it Tech?
Oh, if it was Tech, that would make sense.
Who am I thinking of? Is it Tech?
I'm trying to figure it out here.
We'll figure it out.
Listen, if you're counting on me to Google things, we're all in trouble.
Arizona and Utah.
Arizona's the bad one. That was the bad one this weekend. Utah makes sense. Utah's good. Utah hammered them though.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I win.
I might bring him tomorrow. I think I got a Signetti head somewhere.
Yeah.
Google me.
So they what? They won 7 in a row after Nebraska. They've lost their last 2. So them opening up as a favorite is wild. Like that's
not bad.
You down on Cincinnati?
I'm not down on Cincinnati, but like if you're doing trending and if I'm caring what the results were, like it doesn't look great.
What would you have made Oregon over SC at home?
Oregon over.
No, that's Queen.
SC at home.
That's how. Yeah.
I would say just larger than the key number, like 7.5, 8.
9.5.
4, 6, 8.
Seem right?
It's a little heavy, but not terrible.
Oregon's a weird team to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Oregon because I don't like their offense very much.
They're not overly impressive, but they win a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't love the way their offense looks on any given
It's gonna be a fascinating
moment
week.
In any given
Considering
period of
the
time.
NFL disappointed.
Didn't love the NFL this week?
It was fine. Seattle was sloppy.
Yeah.
Detroit was careless. And Cynthia's a Lions fan. She may go all in.
Yeah. Well,
do you think she'll homer it and be like, well, it's just how the Lions play?
I don't know. It could go either way. As we've seen with fans here, you can either.
Did you like the quality of play in the Denver Chiefs game?
Not really.
It's kind of how they play each other, though.
Yeah, it's not fun to watch. I didn't have a good time with it. You would have a good time though if I called Dingman's Collision Center for my auto body repair because they're family owned and locally owned and operated. They're the best in the biz for auto body repair for 20 straight years. Just ask Best of Omaha where they've been voted first place. Go to dingmans.com to learn more and to figure out how to schedule your appointment. It's dingmans.com. Cynthia Freeland coming up next from NFL Network.
Well, that's a heck of a team, a well-coached team, and it's just a great win for our program. That being said, I didn't love our start where obviously, we get down 10-0 right out of the chute. And I thought Oklahoma threw the first punch, and they were the more physical team early in that game. And, I give our guys a lot of credit. They found a way to withstand it. We talked before the game that the biggest thing that would win this is how we handled adversity. And, I thought we did that well, especially we got down 16, I think. We dug ourselves that hole in the first half, and then we started finding the mismatch. We slowed down. We, their switching bothered us early in the half, but once we, got the ball to the right guy and took our time and got the ball inside, we started scoring it, and that got us a little rhythm. And that's what was able to cut it to striking distance to get it to 7 before half, and then, dug ourselves a little bit of a hole. I think got back down double digits, and then, we went on an unbelievable run. And, a big thing, I think, with that is we started getting started getting deflections. We started getting our hands on balls, and that led to some runouts and, some transition shots.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
We just kind of had to get used to their pressure. We knew they were going to come out pressuring us a lot, denying all the passing lanes, stuff like that. And we just needed to figure out how to, fake drive, stuff like that. So I think we got better at that as the game went on.
Yeah, I think our guards did a great job of handling that initial pressure and then getting easy looks at the rim. So it really worked out. Yeah, I think like I said, we knew they were going to be physical, so coming in and kind of sparked us with some boards early, and I think that really gets me going. And then just, my teammates did a great job early of dishing me the ball down low, just a lot of easy looks. So we do a great job of playing off of each other, and I think when we're able to do that, it allows for us to have, breakout performances kind of. So, yeah, my teammates did a great job of getting me the ball. So, yeah, she was really physical, really athletic. We knew we were going to kind of have our hands full, but just, embracing that physicality and boxing her out especially. She's super active, super athletic. So just coming in, knowing personnel, knowing the scout, and just trying to do the best we can.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
35 yards, Will Lutz. He's already made 4 today. Lutz in the clutch, and the Broncos have won it. McCaffrey, Walker's in front, breaks a tackle, touchdown, Christian McCaffrey, the cherry on top. And it's caught here by Fant, and quickly on him. That goes the ball, John free, picked up Pierre. He'll take it in. It is a touchdown. A second turnover touchdown by the defense. Santos puts it up, and it is good. The comeback kid, Chicago Bears, do it again.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We are joined now by CYNTHIA FRELUND from the NFL Network. CYNTHIA, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great, thank you. How are you guys?
We are hanging in there, and guess what? We're not going to start with quarterback talk. Well, you may end up getting there with this question, but I get it's the way they play, and it's kind of his style, but were the Lions not driving you crazy as the hometown kid?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of anticipated this. Number one, first of all, that the Eagles defense right now is in like just stranglehold mode. Like it's just like feels like they're suffocating people, and it's not like their defense is just playing really well. But if you go back, I rewatched it already, and there's a lot of throws where Jared Goff just missed, and they were open receivers. The plan was good, but I'll also put an asterisk there and say he's used to Sam Laporta being there. There was a whole bunch of missing pieces on the defense. It was very windy. Like, there just was a lot going on. This feels like the Jared Goff moment where we see it once or twice a year. There's just it's just not a good game. It was, indoor last year. I mean, against Houston, it looked crazy. So I'm not going to say I'm not worried, but I wasn't super surprised, if that makes sense.
I thought it might eventually get back to a quarterback because that was about as bad as I've seen Goff since the 5 picks in the playoffs. Just inaccurate. So what do you kind of chalk that up to at this stage of the season on that stage in general?
I think look, you have not to say that Dan Campbell is a new play caller because we don't know exactly how long he's been calling plays, but your play caller is different. Things are changed. I will say there is something about Jared Goff and cold temperatures that it's it is at least correlated. I don't know if it's causal, but it's correlated. You have to, there's a little bit more that goes into it to make it causal, but ultimately I think there's a little bit of that adjusting to outdoor, all these things, and without Laporta. I mean, I do think those, because they play a lot of heavy personnel. So if you don't have your normal heavy personnel out there, as good as Brock Wright is at blocking, you still don't have that extra pass catcher. And Jamison Williams, just a little bit different style than a big-bodied Brock Wright who can win in the middle.
Mm. What's my guy David Montgomery got to do to get a carry inside the 5?
Great question. I think probably something to do with, a Jalen Carter, Jalen Phillips, Jalen Hunt, like all these people with J names in the middle of that defense, probably not play them. That would be one of the ways I would suggest for him to have a little bit more success.
Cynthia, let me ask you something, and this is coming from a guy that picked the Chiefs to win last week, but I also picked the Lions too. So I'm on fire. But having said that, I do think, but I didn't think the Chiefs would win the division. I picked the Chargers. It was a coin flip between them and the Broncos. I thought the Broncos defense is going to be elite. Everybody did. But isn't it kind of time? And I get it. He didn't throw a touchdown yesterday, but they were 7 of 15, I think, on third down. They only ran the ball for 59 yards. At what point, or does it take a division title where we stop, saying what Bo Nix isn't and maybe start talking about what he is?
I think the hard part you're always going to have in football is, when you see what feels like baffling results, like if you look at least over the course of the whole season, not necessarily a game yesterday, but, Bo Nix for the first 3 quarters looks different than Bo Nix in the fourth quarter. So you're kind of like, well, who is he?
Yeah.
Right? Like, is he the guy we see make these, 1-point wins or, one score differential wins? Or is he the guy in the beginning who, the screen pass becomes a crutch? And I think part of it also, and Sean Payton says it out loud, is that Sean really values not taking sacks. So is he making decisions faster and with more fear in mind, or is this just what they're asking him to? Like, there's a lot of confounding things that happen kind of all at once. But I think when you have big swings in your profile from one quarter to the next, I do think it's kind of fair to be like, well, what are we even seeing here? Because this defense appears to be, late January, early February like defense. So what's going on offense?
Cynthia, let me ask you this. We'll stay on the Broncos here for a second. If you're taking a team with a second-year quarterback and an 8-game winning streak, you taking the Broncos or the Patriots?
I'm taking the Broncos because, number one, I just think that Broncos defense, look what they did at Patrick Mahomes yesterday without their reigning defensive player of the year, without a guy in the middle Alex Singleton, who's a very important piece, without Jonah Ellis. And they like to mix up their front and bring in a lot of different pressure packages. So I just think, and it's not to say I don't like the Patriots defense, because I do, but I think that, number one, to win the AFC West, you're a bit more battle tested. So, and to win the East right now, I know the Bills are in the East, but I think that we can agree maybe this isn't the best year for the Jets or the Dolphins. So you're having a schedule, a little bit of that benefit of the schedule for the Patriots. And I'm not talking about quarterback play. I'm talking about, you asked me which team I'm taking. So because Drake May is lighting the world up and it's really fun to watch, but I just think that elite defense is, you can't top that.
So May over Knicks, but Broncos over Patriots?
Well, I actually think we end up seeing, that would be what I would like to see in my AFC Championship game. Wouldn't it be nice to not have, and no shade to the Chiefs, because we were fortunate to be able to watch Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be the best of all time, but I'm just I'm ready for some new blood in the deep playoffs.
What about Vrabel versus Peyton? If we're going to line these two teams up.
Well, what about which one?
Vrabel versus Peyton. If we're lining up Broncos and Patriots.
I mean, look, it's fun either way, and I think Vrabel, even though he won't win Coach of the Year, he very much should be in consideration for that. But Sean Payton's already done it, man. He's already climbed that mountain, and it's kind of cool to see like Vrabel's like Peyton in 2 years, right? Like Vrabel will get there. I think this is a team with championship aspirations, but just, I think, I don't know, Sean being able to out-coach whatever's going on with Bo Nix is pretty impressive.
Now, Cynthia, I want to be careful here because listen, I hate to be a victim of the moment, but I do want to ask you something because it was the way you phrased the conversation about Mahomes where we almost kind of put him in the rearview mirror for a second, right? You're like, oh, he's going to be the greatest of all time. And it's like, and I got to ask, and I get it. It's Denver and it's Buffalo, but he's only completing, a little right at about 55% of his passes in November. It's, lower than his completion percentage for the season. He got outplayed by Allen and Nix in back-to-back games. If you just look head-to-head, and I get it, it's not that linear, but how careful should we be or do we need to be about writing off Mahomes?
I don't know if you can ever write off Mahomes. I will say keeping track of their O-line is, when you're playing a team with a pressure front like the Broncos, is going to be something that matters because, for better or for worse, everyone gives their best game to Patrick Mahomes. People get up. Absolutely. I mean, when you have coverage stacks coming for Patrick Mahomes, the guys are specifically dialed in on one thing that they really, there wasn't just one of them, too. McMillan had 2 yesterday, right? So, this is like an interesting phenomenon, and you're just getting everyone's best every single time. There's no, dropping a random inexplicable game to the Jaguars, whatever. You're just, that's not happening, right? I know they lost to the Jags, but I'm talking about the Chargers. That was strange. But everyone gives you their absolute freaking best. And so you're going to have to bring your absolute best every single week. And marginal things, things that seem small, incremental O-lineman being out, really ends up adding up, and that's where things change.
So, you probably have noticed I like to find patterns and compare things. So let's stick with the Chiefs and let's bring in the Baltimore Ravens, both at 5-5, both teams that I don't think any of us have thought are having the year that maybe we thought they would at this point. Who do you feel better about moving forward at this point, the Chiefs or the Ravens? Just through the end of the year.
The Ravens, because the Ravens. They still have 2, they're still staring down a lot of their divisional games left. Mm-hmm. So, that just makes things easier. They've got 2 Steelers left. They've got 2 Bengals left. They haven't really started their play.
And they get the Jets.
Right. And if you're looking at, what's going on with the Chiefs, they're already – all these head-to-heads. They lost to the Bills. That's a head-to-head that will come down to mattering when these playoffs and wild card seeds are determined. So you've got that. You've got one with the Jags. I don't know if they're a real contender or not, but head-to-head loss to them matters a lot. The formula is a little unforgiving, but we know what it is. And the Chiefs have actually dropped some important games that would go a long way in help them determining whether they get the final playoff seeds or not.
Cynthia, let me ask you something. Is Jacksonville good?
I don't know who Jacksonville. There's a few teams that I have no idea who they are. I'm not sure. They have pieces that are good, and they've got a coach who has a game plan that is very effective. But if it doesn't go right, they're not great at adapting. So when it goes well, they're fine. When it doesn't go well, it's not good. Decidedly not good.
So you've piqued my interest. Who are the other teams that you have no idea who they are?
The Falcons and the Panthers. No clue.
We brought them up in the first segment. We agree with you.
Falcons and Panthers, we don't know what to do with them
either. Yes. What'd you ask me? Ravi goes, what do we do with the Panthers? Are the Panthers good? I don't know, but I do know that the Falcons should be better. I do think that.
Correct. There's no reason. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, great game. Okay, I understand Michael Penix Jr. got hurt. They have the number 1 pass defense, and you're letting a rookie destroy you. And Bryce Young, that was that was the game you would expect from Bryce Young, but we have not seen that consistently. But what is going? I don't know. I have no. And I just got back from Berlin, and I watched them in person against the Colts, and it felt like they had a very strong game plan to stop Daniel Jones and the Colts. Perhaps this was a trap game that they were like, the Panthers suck. I don't know. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I can tell you, I don't know who the Falcons are down to down.
Okay, of quarterbacks that we've seen glimpses of that, have been a little underwhelming. Who could best benefit from a change either of offensive philosophy or scenery in general? Stroud, Murray, or Lawrence?
Oof, that's a great question. I mean, I think the most gifted quarterback of those is probably Stroud, even though sometimes we've seen some middling results. Maybe you think, I don't know, but I like Stroud's upside better. How about let's put it that way,
okay.
Right? Like he has the profile of a modern kind of the guy that translates from college really well with the guys who are also coming out of college. So, I mean, I don't know if he would. I just think what Stroud would benefit from is not having a New England style play caller in Houston, where he's not a New England style quarterback. I just don't think the philosophies are aligned. I don't actually think he needs a change of scenery. I think he needs a change of philosophy because the pieces are there. I mean, Nico Collins is a very, very strong piece. Dalton Schultz, they're not as bad as their record or how you feel. When I close my eyes and think about a Houston's offense, I'm like, well, their defense is winning them games, right? But there's more talent there. I think it just needs to have a refreshed look at how it all pieces together.
What about Kyler and Lawrence?
I don't know what I think about Kyler Murray. But
He's hard.
I know Trevor Lawrence. It's tricky because there's moments where you're like, okay, I get it. And then there's other moments where you're like, okay, I don't get it. He's confusing too. The fact that he and Marvin Harrison Jr. couldn't get on the same page for as long as it took. The fact that Trey McBride has to like punch people in the face to catch a ball. It's just hard to understand because look at what happens with Jacoby Brissett. And I think he's one of the most I think all the commercials with the backup should be Jacoby Brissett.
He's a pro's pro, isn't he?
Yeah, I love him. The fact that he set a record for the number of attempts I'm glad he's going to be a trivia question in NFL history because I really, really like him a lot. But the fact that it looks so much different with Jacoby Brissett tells me there's some disconnect. I don't know what the disconnect is, but there is a disconnect when it looks vastly different. So I don't know. But Trevor Lawrence, I think also, they kind of fall into this thing where it's are their bad habits so, ingrained that we can't get them out of the bad habit mold or not? Whereas CJ Stroud, I don't think that, the imprint is too large to change yet.
Yeah, so it's just kind of weird how we've seen some of these reformation projects of even Darnold temporarily or Geno Smith or Mac Jones to some degree. Even though Mac Jones was good
Mac Jones has been great.
He was good as a rookie, but I always kind of wonder about this rehab, refurnish furniture for some of these supposed talented quarterbacks that I've seen play well in stretches.
I think it matters what your coach's vision for you happens to be. I mean, I saw Sam Darnold in one game yesterday kind of battle all of his demons at once. I know they lost, but it was pretty cool to see him not feel you can tell there's some level of trust between him and Clint Kubiak, him and Mike McDonald, because he kept going. I mean, he had a bad game, very bad game, but they're still in at the end because he kept going. And I know the run game really helped, but it was also passes to running backs. That's something that was different from some of the other Sam Darnold moments we've seen. So it's also about having a system where someone believes in you. It's a really big deal. I think that, look, Sam Darnold, his God-given, his height, arm, all the things that, you can't teach. There's no amount of film study that's going to make him taller, right? That's where I think what you're seeing there is Sam Darnold using what his assets that he was, his genetic assets are in combination with a great plan for him and learning. And I just think there's some disconnect between those three things for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, going into yesterday, man, he'd only had 6 picks, Sam Darnold. And in Jigba, those guys were flourishing. Like, I get it. 4 picks yesterday wasn't good, but he had been playing at a high level.
But they're still in it, though, at the end. Like,
Yep.
Even though he had that crappy game, at the end, it was I know it was an exceptionally long field goal, but whatever. But point being is, it's not like it was 35 to 7. They could have easily won that game.
And Stafford's on a heater, too. So for them to hang in there, it's like, yeah.
So let me stick on Sam Darnold here for a minute. Do you think the Minnesota Vikings experience is going to inform what the Indianapolis Colts do at the end of this year?
I think the Indianapolis Colts have already telegraphed what they're going to do, because paying that much, and by paying I mean equity and draft picks for Sauce Gardner, means they already got quarterback right. They feel it.
Okay.
Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have given up 2 firsts and a player for a corner.
Do you think, even independently of what we've seen J.J. McCarthy look like, that Minnesota would go back and think maybe we shouldn't have taken what Sam Darnold was able to do here for granted?
I don't know. I know that it feels like we've seen a lot of J.J. McCarthy. I know it's his second season technically, but we really haven't seen much of J.J. McCarthy.
Sure.
And as much as I'd like to say, like, of course Minnesota wants to win games. Of course, Justin Jefferson will go down as an all-time great, and you don't want to, quote unquote, waste any of his good years, or however we term that, right? But I don't think we've seen enough of JJ, and there aren't just like young franchise level quarterbacks growing on trees. Like, every year we talk about how the draft is not a good quarterback draft, blah, 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 blah. Like, Tim Ward's struggling. Of course, it takes some time, and now college and NFL, in a lot of ways, they're getting more and more different from each other. And if I always go back to this NIL stuff, because I think it's horrible I don't care about NIL, I care about the transfer portal, because what happens is these guys play for so many different colleges, they never really kind of go to, level 2 quarterbacking. So they're stuck at level 1 quarterbacking, and then you go to the next level at the NFL, and even if they've been in college for 6 years, it's still freaking hard to learn a much thicker playbook. It's way different. So I don't know. I think Minnesota's like, if you think you know what we've got here, like, you're an oracle, because we don't even know what we've got here.
So I don't even think there is one, but because whether it's the age or how long he's been in the league or just how prolific he's been this year, Stafford is cemented his Hall of Fame status. And I used to argue it up until a couple of years ago. But this is ridiculous, right? What are we up to? 25 touchdowns in a row with no picks. He's 27-2. They're 8-2, and they're still trying to get fully healthy. How good of a level is Stafford playing at for you, who always crunches numbers?
And I always love Stafford too, because to me, Michigan people, we always, unless we're playing the Rams, we want Matthew Stafford to succeed. It's when you look at what Stafford is best at, and I actually created a metric for him specifically, because the thing he was always great at was soccer. Yeah, the play after being pressured, including sacks, so an actual pressure, not like, I don't know what other people consider pressure, but like where someone comes in the halo of his vision, where you be pressured, under pressure throws. He's the most accurate quarterback that we've seen, the play after being pressured, which is a very important metric. Now, Drake May is starting to profile like that as well, but Matthew Stafford,
that's incredible. Literally,
I created that metric because of him. So, to me, I'm just really glad to see that the heavy personnel that they're using, 13, so 3 tight ends, et cetera, using their running backs to really be blockers, using their tight ends obviously as blockers, and even asking wide receivers to do that too. That's where I'm really glad that, Sean McVay is like getting the most out of the opportunity for Matthew Stafford to like not have to be so prolific at that thing that he is great at until at least the end of the season, right? Like, so I just think this is a really good example of, the system and the style matching what the production and the highest form of this, effectiveness for a quarterback happens to be. So that those two things working together, you see some great results.
Somehow we, in the first segment this morning, way back when we were talking about like front offices and McVay versus Shanahan and all these coaches kind of head to head. And the thing that like the NFL experts always say about McVay that kind of made him different from these other offensive boy geniuses, and Shanahan is probably in this discussion as well. We'll see what happens with Ben Johnson and some of these guys. But we've also seen it not work, is that McVay was able to cast his vision throughout the building, right, of excellence and a way to do it. And it's kind of become the culture which has worked for him. But, I mean, you got to look at, are we looking at like Demoff and Les Snead and some of these guys that like the Howie Rosemans of the world where their drafting and their personnel, and remember when they sold out to win the Super Bowl, they had no money, they're cash strapped, and here they are again just a couple of years later, like right back in the thick of it. Do we need to be looking at their front office in a different light?
I think that the difference between, there's two differences.
Remember when they moved off of Ramsey and that was a hot take? It was like, wait, what?
Hot take. Yeah. So, but like, I think that, Les Snead and Kevin Demoff, they just don't, Howie might talk to the media a little more than them, like Howie might, just a little nudge, and Howie might make more mid-season trades than them. And, they like, I don't know, sometimes media people like to be talked to by people like that, but I think ultimately they are given that respect. And that if you look at, like, to me, the way to look at it from what football people think is like who gets hired away, right? Like, the GM in Detroit, where did he come from? The Rams. Yeah. What about Jacksonville? Like they're all proliferating. Jacksonville, all these other places. So I'd look at that, and then you can compare that to, it is up there with Shanahan because, Adam Peters from the Commanders, he comes from San Francisco. Like, so I would just look at those spaces, and not to say that Howie doesn't have as many of those, but if you did like some version of like media mentions to hires, I think some of these other people have maybe more hires and fewer media mentions. I'm just saying.
I think
I get it.
I think we found your new metric that you're gonna come up with.
There we go.
Cynthia, we appreciate the time so much as always. Great to talk to you, and we'll catch up again soon.
And you've got a new metric, right? Pressures after a pressure.
There we go.
I like it.
There we go. Exactly. Have a great day.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Again. Thanks, Cynthia. That's Cynthia FRELUND from NFL Network. Oh, that's a great metric.
Pressures after. What and I'm a Stafford honk.
Yeah. Homer.
Maybe numero uno of guys that have never played for a team that I like.
Yeah, full on randos.
He's amazing.
No, yeah, I'm not as big of a honk as you are. I always have.
Really, and I guess I liked him at Georgia because I like Georgia. But
yeah, I always liked Matt Stafford.
He's incredible.
I was more of a no Sean Moreno guy on that team.
He's 27-2, 25 in a row.
My favorite stat of his.
It's 3 games with 4 touchdowns, no picks.
It's the latest anyone in their career has ever gotten over 500 for the first time as a starting quarterback. I think it's like 237 starts.
Spent a lot of time in Detroit.
He sure did. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Ben McLAUGHLIN from the Husker Radio Network. That's CB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's difficult, and obviously with Owen still trying to get back in shape, it's kind of out of necessity right now. And Karam's learning. It's a steep learning curve not being here all summer and missing everything that he missed, and then the language barrier is a little bit of an issue too. But Jason gives us some stability there, and I know what I'm going to get, and it's he was pretty effective when he was out there. I thought Karam the second half. That's what we need to see. That kind of pressure on the rim that he puts on the rim, and I think he can do some special things defensively as well. But it's going to be a process with Owen, as I've said from the start. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the anchor to all of that is Britt. I mean, she's so consistent. Today, it was the first time this season I've had to play her 34 minutes, but I think that she does so many things just to see the game and call the right set in the right moment. She sees things and wants to be able to say, okay, let's take advantage in this way. And she handles it. She creates for other people all the time, getting herself, as a threat defensively. She's improved. And so I think she's kind of the anchor to things for us, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But when I think about Callan Hake being able to have some of the games she's had, and then Amaya Hargrove steps up, and then, Jess Petrie's our leading scorer, and then, and just kind of being able to be dangerous. It's not just one player that teams can key in on, and I think that's really beneficial for us, and to have a point guard that is willing to be selfless and get other people involved just keeps everything together.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Ben McLAUGHLIN from the Husker Radio Network. Benny Mac, what's going on?
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Monday to you both.
Yes, we get you on. What do we owe the honor where you're like stationary chilling?
Working from home today. So,
attaboy.
Yeah,
you must be on daddy duty.
Partly, yeah. That's not going to kick in till later. But yeah, it's nice not having to deal with the cell service of I-80, just praying it holds out.
Hey, so more concerned about, I probably know the answer because I've watched you watch a game, but more concerned about the Chiefs or the Hornets?
Oh, we punted on the Hornets before the season. But I'm generally pessimistic, as you know, as you just prefaced that. things didn't look good when the Chiefs played the Chargers to open the year. Like they were exposed. And I thought it was hilarious. Like Chiefs started winning a couple games, beating the few opponents that they should have. And then like, I don't watch a lot of talking heads on ESPN, but it's all of a sudden the Chiefs are back. They are so back. It's just like, are they though? They're not. That being said, they did just kind of get through their murderer's row of their schedule. But I think it's a little too late for them this year, but it's okay. You know, I think after my hour long of decompression after losing that one yesterday, you know, the fact that they've won 3, I've watched them win 3 Super Bowls in the last handful of years. I never thought I would say that growing up. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful, as much as this year may suck being 5-5 and staring down the barrel at 5-6 with the Colts next week. It's okay. We'll let this one go.
Now that defense is going to give the Colts trouble, though. That's not a bad matchup for them. Was the hour better or worse than you decompressing after you told me no, that you weren't going to take me over to the media press box in Los Angeles? Because that's the first hard no you've maybe given me in our illustrious career.
The look on your face was like pure shock, like when I said that, because I didn't want to go down there again. So for those that have no idea what we're talking about, I was trying to find press Wi-Fi. Normally there's something in the box or something around where our booth is, but that place is so ancient that there's not really a lot of places for that kind of stuff. And so I needed to go find the main media room. Well, there's 2 of them. And when you get off the elevator or the stairs, there's one on one end of the field and then one on the other. And when I say end of the field, like one's on one goal line and the other's on the other goal line. I had a 50-50 shot of getting it right, and I guessed wrong. And so it was a really long walk to find it. I got it. And then I passed the whole crew, DB, Kyle, and Jess getting off the elevator. And I was like, I'm going to go on a mission here to get this Wi-Fi for Damon. And so got it back. And then Damon's like, do you want to go down to the room? And I go, no, I don't. Just walked basically the entire concourse of the Rose Bowl. I'm good. I'm good with where I'm at. I'll give you directions to go, but I'm staying right here.
I told Ravi you were generally concerned when there was 13 minutes to start the show. It was like 1:47, and I wanted to go down to see if the prints were ready. And I go, am I going to make it? As if to say, can you go with me? And you go, if you leave now, maybe.
That's funny, because that's exactly what I said.
Best of luck.
Because I didn't trust you to find it. Like, I feel like I gave you some pretty good directions, but when you walked out of the booth and go this way, like, we're not off to a real good start. And so I didn't think the 13-minute thing was going to be doable if we couldn't make it out of the booth.
Kind of like you wanting to type in my email, huh?
Oh, man. Do you know they're telling that story? Like, she's telling that story the next home game. Like, hey, remember that guy from Nebraska that was so mean to that other guy?
I told Robbie, I said, you have to just, his delivery, right? It's like, oh, sir, would you like barbecue sauce or ranch? And I was like, no, I'm good. We'll take a ranch. She was mortified.
Yeah, and the fact that, well, because I already saw your wheels spinning when the second she turned the machine around.
Oh, to type my email.
I was like, you're cooked. So I was like, give it here. Like, because I just knew you weren't going to be able to read the numbers on that thing.
Ben, what is your favorite DB quirk? Is it the fact that he needs you to walk with him everywhere, or struggles with technology?
I was going to say just the cleanliness. Like, he's got more products in him than, like, what's that makeup place, like Sephora? Like, he's got like a whole thing. And I know he's such a big fan of TV and makeup and the personnel. And so I was in there washing my hands, and in walks DB with his case. And I was like, hey, you know who was just at that sink 30 seconds ago, right? And he looks at me like, shut up.
Oh, yeah, it was Brando.
Yeah.
And I
did he leave any residue?
I like to wash my face. I brush my I get it. It's probably annoying, but I don't know, B. It's just, I'm glad you appreciate it.
I do. Here's the deal: is for as much as you're knocking on my door for what's in my bag to salvage you, you've saved me the last couple of weeks with the Tylenol for the headache.
Yeah, I got my nice little pill kit.
Yeah, it's very nice, and it's properly labeled and everything. You probably need to restock it after the last couple of weeks.
Well, Casey's got in it too. You know, the funny thing is, I was trying to explain to these. Can you tell our listeners how big the urinals were and that people still miss? Like, is that not maddening? We had a 30-minute discussion on the show about how do you miss?
The first thing he talked about when he came back from LA was
because I told Ben, I was like, I was unusually happy. I ran back in. I was like, I was like, you got to see how big these urinals are. There's no way these people can miss.
I came back 20 minutes later. I'm like, it's possible.
Yeah, he goes, I go, what? He goes, oh yeah, puddle.
I said, we got puddles.
Yeah, it's possible.
Like what? I mean, you had to have tried to be that bad, right?
Yeah, you just had to make sure you had your media pass walk into the bathroom because
yeah,
passed about 12 security guards.
Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible. But then we could just walk. I liked your shortcut getting me down to the field too, because I don't know, would we have gone all the way around if we didn't just cut through the stadium?
Probably. And it's just like, hey, lady, like I know you saw me 38 seconds ago, and you probably forgot, but here's my pass.
And he'll go, you just saw me. I was like, yeah, what he said.
Usually you don't have that much trouble aiming when most people are theoretically sober.
I don't know, man. I'd never seen urinals like that. It was like a barrel.
Yeah, massive.
And I was like, how do you miss? But before we move on to Penn State, you and I, we were walking the field, and I told these guys it was my version of touching grass. But you had to be pretty impressed seeing Nico up close, and then how he played. But not surprised at all that he was diagnosed with the concussion going into Ohio State. It made a lot of sense post, didn't it?
Yeah, I remember you talking about that on our show, and then we went down there and saw him, and I couldn't believe how big his legs were. Like, not just long because he's tall, but like they're trunks. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's probably not a lot of fun to tackle, although Nebraska had a lot of fun tackling him apparently on Saturday night because, as we found out, the concussion knocked him out of the game last week. But yeah, he's a big dude, really big dude. And I think, it's pretty clear early on that, and I think you may even made the comment on the broadcast that if this guy's going to run, you're going to make him feel every run that he has. And I think I slid you a note. I don't remember when it was in the game, maybe midway through the second quarter, that he was already at 10 carries.
Yep.
I'm like,
you did.
This is sustainable with the amount of hits this guy's taking.
Yeah, they really did hammer him too every time they got a shot.
Yeah, you wrote that one in purple. You were like, that's 10, and I looked at you. I think I was like, already? Like it was you, and it definitely took a toll. I'm not surprised. There were some shots he was taking late in that game. I was like, how?
Yeah, the shots he was taking, not only with the runs, but with the pressure, right? I mean, you were talking about his accuracy, and I mean, Keona Davis was a madman in that game against UCLA. Like no one could block him. And I mean, I never played D-line, but I have to imagine it's one of those feelings like once you have 2, 3, 4 of those plays in a row to where they're not doing what they want to do against you, that confidence is probably just beaming of you feel unstoppable, probably like how Myles Garrett feels right now. Like there's just no one on the planet that can block you. And that's how Keona Davis played. Like I thought it was by far his best game as a Husker, and several others as well. But yeah, they got to him early and often. And yeah, he's going to remember playing the Huskers that night. There's no doubt.
Speaking of running quarterbacks, as we kind of switch to Penn State here, were you surprised that we didn't see more design QB run from TJ Lateef? And do you expect to see more of that against Penn State?
Yeah, I think we'll see more of it the next couple of weeks with Penn State and Iowa, just because those defenses they take a lot away. And so the beauty of his first game with TJ is he didn't have to run a whole lot. And Damon and I kind of talked about this in our show, that just because he can run doesn't mean he's a runner. And I think that was the theme all week is, Nebraska has this running quarterback. And of course, the first play of the game, they kind of throw him in there to use his legs to get him into the game. But after that, you didn't see him take off a whole lot. Like, the threat that he can do it, I think is enough to stress defenses. I do think ultimately he is going to run more because I think, Penn State's secondary and their coverage levels at the second level, same with Iowa, are a lot better than what we saw against UCLA. So, just by virtue of time in the pocket, getting out of the pocket, he's going to run more. But I do think Nebraska probably wants to be a little careful, knowing that what could potentially happen if he's the one that takes a big hit. So I think it's going to be a mix. He's definitely going to carry it more, I think, than what he did against UCLA. You just hope he's being smart with the football and not taking those extra hits when he can either get out of bounds or get down.
One of the things I enjoy about our pregame is every week you hit me with a couple nuggets or some different vantage points that I probably didn't think of that you did on your 98th rewatch. But when we're sitting down having pregame Saturday and we're going to talk about Penn State, and they'll probably at that time be an 9-point fave, where's the discussion going to start for you when we start to talk about what you'd appreciate about Penn State?
I think my first gut reaction is probably the same as a lot of people, and it's those two backs. I mean, they're so experienced and so good, and I think for the first time in a while have some confidence. Like, I think the way that Penn State's offense has had to kind of adapt without Aller has been interesting because, they don't have the X factor in Tyler Warren like they had last year. They've had to kind of get creative with their running game. And that's tough to do when you don't have a head coach, right? Like, I think there's some other variables at play here that it's made watching Penn State interesting because, there's a couple of outside moving parts. You lose your quarterback, you lose your head coach, and now it's kind of like, where do we go from here? I'm really interested and intrigued to see how Penn State comes out early, maybe the first 2 or 3 possessions against the Black Shirts, because I think that's going to be the easy tell. But a lot of times when we see things like this, like a Minnesota or a Wisconsin, what do they do that first drive? First play is usually a play action. They'll run a tight end across on a slide or, just an easy dump off to get Nebraska thinking something other than running game. So how they use those running backs, I think, to me, is going to be something that I'm watching very closely.
Ravi is contemplating, and I'll let him explain it, just these monumental meltdowns this morning. We were talking to Sam earlier because I said this, if Nebraska wins, this would, in my opinion, would be the most talented team that they'd had beaten. And, Ravi says, well, at some point, if they're so talented, when are they going to start playing like it? But he has an interesting kind of position about what we've used against Nebraska for 10 years versus why we're afraid of Penn State. Pose the same question a bit.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, it seems like, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but from the people we've talked to, it seems like we're doing the exact same thing to Penn State to justify their record that we did when Nebraska's, the best 3-9 team of all time or whatever. And guess what? They were still 3-9. It still got the coach fired. It's still like at some point the record has to matter. And we talked to Sam McKEWON earlier today, and he goes, "Well, I bet Penn State would trade Big Ten schedules with Nebraska." And I was like, "Yeah, but they've played 3 common opponents. Nebraska's beat all of them, and Penn State's 1-2. So what do I do with that?" Like, I get that they're probably more talented than Nebraska. I understand that. I also get that they're not even in the same neighborhood of talent as an Ohio State. And they're probably, at least you want to go by recruiting rankings, much closer to what Nebraska is than some of these other teams. And they've lost a lot. Like, at some point, the losing matters, right?
Yeah, I think it's more of a conversation than it is a question, because I think there's a lot of variables at play here, right? Like the schedule, certainly. Aller's injury, like that completely changes the dynamic of a game. The emotional part of losing James Franklin, like the stuff that we don't see when we watch tape, I think does have an influence on young men's psychology and their ability to perform. But I do also think that there's a difference. I think a lot of times when we assess teams and we do this kind of stuff and we look at tape compared to draft projections, there's a difference between talent and identity, right? Like, when you look at talent, think of Mike Loxley's teams at Maryland. How many times have you walked in there going, shoot, Raheem Jarrett, that's a 5-star, right? Like there's multiple guys that you look at and you go, that's an NFL player. That's an NFL player. That's an NFL player. It doesn't always mean they're good football teams, but the compilation of talent is there. You saw that a little bit with SC, right? Like looking around at some of those guys, you're like, yeah, that guy's a Sunday guy. That guy's a Sunday guy. Their record's not necessarily indicative of the talent, but when you look at Penn State, and I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of the side of my mouth here because they don't have their head coach, but they were built to fulfill a certain identity. Penn State football, you know what you're getting when you're playing Penn State. You know what you're getting when you're playing Iowa. And I think a lot of times that leads to Sunday guys. Like Jack Campbell's a great example. You saw him last night in Detroit. Nobody saw his recruiting rankings out of high school and go, yep, that's a Sunday guy. But
incredible.
When you play the same system year over year and you get really, really good at what you do and you get better every year, that makes you a draftable guy. So I think we're getting to the same destination. We're just taking a couple of different routes to get there. And I think that's why it requires maybe a little bit more conversation, because Penn State does have talent like they do, right? Like they have a lot of players on their team that other schools in the country would love to have. That doesn't necessarily mean they can put it together for 60 minutes and execute snaps, but they do have guys that I think have the attention of scouts. And I mean, look no further than those running backs, right? Like they've had multiple guys in their front seven defensively that I'm like, man, sure be nice to have an Abdul Carter. Sure would be nice to have a couple of these dudes. So I do think it's a little tricky, but I do agree with you, Ravi, that, you know, just because they're talented doesn't mean Nebraska can't go in there and win on Saturday night.
So I've been going through just season-long team statistics, right? The only place that Penn State has any kind of significant advantage is rush yards per game on offense or defense. Would you like to guess how many more rush yards per game?
Are you factoring in strength of schedule?
No, this is just the whole
Okay.
season.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
whole season.
Okay.
Would you like to guess how many more yards per game Penn State has than Nebraska rushing the football?
Offensively, you mean?
Yeah.
It can't be much. I would say no more than 30.
It is 13.6 yards.
Yeah.
Penn State's 78, Nebraska's 90. That's the biggest gap. And listen, so I get the point, right? If you're looking at rosters and you're looking at draft prospects and things like that, maybe you take Penn State over any other team Nebraska's played this year, although I think Michigan has an argument. I think SC has an argument. But when you look at what's actually happened on a football field over the course of the season, and I get that some of the opponents have been harder for Penn State, they also played no one in the non-con. And you look at it and you go, okay, Nebraska has been better in almost every team category than Penn State this year. I don't know what to do with that except say 9.5 points seems like a lot.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, just playing devil's advocate, because you're on one right now. David, this is why Ravi and I.
Yeah, you guys, I tell you this. You're kind of the same person, except he's actually probably a little more mean-spirited, if you can believe that.
Let me ask you this, though. If you're a defensive coordinator coming into the year, where do you start with Penn State compared to where do you start with Nebraska? Like, when you're looking at Nebraska, you have Dillon, you have all these wideouts that, you know, they're really confident in. Your game plan probably starts there. You have an unproven guy at running back. Penn State, you've got 2 all-conference caliber running backs on your team. That's probably where you start and what you want to take away first, right? Or no?
I agree. And my answer would just be, and where has that gotten them? It's gotten them 13.5 more yards a game and 60 fewer passing yards per game than Nebraska. So I sit there and I go, yes, I would agree. Going into it, you want to stop passing game for Nebraska. You want to stop running game for Penn State. Well, you don't really have to worry about stopping passing game for Penn State because they kind of do that for you. And then the running game has been stoppable.
I think we're saying the same thing.
We might be. We very well might be. And now the only variable that I don't know what to do with is that both teams are playing with backup quarterbacks that are pretty recent additions, right? In terms of a lot of the stats that I'm talking about season long were with a different guy. So I don't totally know what to do with that, although I have to imagine not going to improve the 184 yards a game for Penn State passing the ball. But so don't totally know what to do with that. But outside of that, I I don't really understand how we got to the point where Penn State is the boogeyman unless it's just the uniform and the situation.
Yeah, I get it. Environment, night game, probably all that stuff plays into it.
What do you think we're walking into? You and I tried to guess momentum. Yeah, we're way off from 2 weeks ago. We thought they may have shot their shot against Indiana. Now they might feel even better.
I've been every time I go there, it's a weird situation, right? Like the Sandusky stuff, the overtime game with Pat Smith. By the way, you could win a cold beverage if you said who kicked that game-winning field goal in State College in overtime. Not many people can just pull out Pat Smith. Shout out Pat Smith. The last time we played there was the Trace McSorley Saquon game where they were pretty much benched at halftime. It was like 30 degrees and raining the whole time. So it's just been weird every time we've been there. So maybe part of me is not surprised that the line's so big. I don't know.
I guess part of it for me too is just like
Pat Smith. That is incredible.
You like that, huh?
I am not surprised though. I spent a lot of time around you.
So I spent the last few weeks rooting for Penn State to get a win because there's a part of me that says if you're a team that's on an 0-for streak like they were in conference and you're not actually awful, I want you to get a win before you play me.
Right? Everybody's psychology works differently.
Right? Yeah.
You had your thought. Damon and I were in there like, how do we want this Indiana game to finish? And he's like, well, I'm on this side. I was like, well, have you considered this? And so it's like we've got a third.
So in my mind, best case scenario is they would have shot their shot at Indiana, won that game, came back, let down, lose to Michigan State. Their season's over. They get dog walked by Nebraska this week. It didn't quite work out that way, right? Because friggin', Cignetti had to do his stuff, but and Mendoza.
My goodness.
And yeah, and we don't even need to talk about Gus Johnson, but like I think this is a good scenario for Nebraska that they are no longer in desperation. We can't go 0-for in the conference mode. That's how my brain works because I've seen it happen, and mostly basketball, if I'm being honest. I've seen it happen too many times in basketball where a team's on like an 8-game conference losing streak, and you're like, they're not going to lose all of them. Like they're not losing out, right? They're not so bad they're going to lose out. That's how I felt about Penn State. Now that they're not going to lose out, I'm like, all right, right for the picking. Let's go.
Yeah. But I just hope they're not feeling themselves on a night game in State College. Like, it's not going to be a whiteout. It's not going to be the old top 10 matchup, right, with Ohio State and Penn State. But that place does get loud. It holds a lot of people. So I don't know. There's a lot about it that's interesting because I think the Vegas always knows, though, right? Like, rarely do those dudes way wrong. And maybe they're way wrong this week. But I hope Matt Rule's preaching to the guys like, hey, you guys think these guys are 9 points better than you? I don't. So
can I bring something up with that, though? Like, we always say Vegas always knows, and I get that they build the big buildings in the desert.
I've been pretty good against some big spreads, right?
All I'm saying is professional gamblers exist, too. Right? So, like, they can't always know. Because they're getting beat by at least a certain percentage.
You see what I mean with his personality?
Yeah.
They're getting beat by a certain percentage of the population on a consistent enough basis that they can build big houses too.
Yeah, Ravi, we're going off a 9-point spread here though. Like they make their hay when the lines drop like a half a point. They're like, that's it. I wanted 9 instead of 8, or I wanted 8.5 instead of 7.
Watch where this line ends up. Watch where this line ends up.
I don't think it'll be Nebraska in the minus. So
no, I think it'll be like 6.5.
Really?
Between 6.5 and 7.5. This thing's dropping 2 full points from the open. I would bet that.
I think the point's still the same, though. Like, Nebraska's not going to go in there thinking they're 6.5 points worse than Penn State, right? Like,
yeah,
I think that's a slight. Look, you're crazy if you don't think Matt Rule's going to turn over every rock to get motivation from his guys. Whether it's,
I think his familiarity will help with the travel logistics too.
Yeah, it's a weird place, middle of nowhere. Yeah, I'm excited for you to see it, Damon.
Oh, geez.
We haven't been there in a long time. It's a weird place. Weird vibes.
You've never been there, right?
No. I do have one question, though, B. Are we setting up at night or in the morning?
I'll set up when I get there, like I always do.
Okay. All right.
I like like I always do.
Listen, this dude does not – he does not play around.
Ben, can you tell me when you guys are leaving on Friday so that I know whether I need a co-host or not?
Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
I appreciate it. Yeah, whenever you get that email, because I'll get a text like Thursday, be like, "Hey, is Austin doing this show for me tomorrow?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I guess
What
so."
time? We'll probably leave about between 11 and 12:30.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I see us maybe leaving a little earlier just because we're going East Coast.
We're gonna lose
losing
the
hour, but that would be my guess.
All right, so I'll plan on needing one on Friday. I'll be fine.
I can't stand you. All right, B. It's been real. Unless there's something else you wanted to get.
No, I just want to ask
your ace buddy about.
I just want to ask if you were enjoying the Ryan Kalkbrenner experience still.
There's not much I'm enjoying about the Hornets season right now, if I'm being honest.
Well, you get Knipple and Kalkbrenner, K2.
Yeah.
They're
It's been
well.
Those guys have been good. Kalkbrenner, has he missed a shot this year? Like, I think he's like shooting like 92% or something ridiculous. But he also it took him like until like his 12th game to attempt either a free throw or a 3-pointer. So him, Knipple, Melo's cooked. Those ankles are cooked. It's not good. We got Colin Sexton leading the charge offensively. Typically, things aren't going to go well.
Hey, since I know you guys are like kindred spirits, what are you guys going to do on December 7th with Creighton and Nebraska play? Both teams could be pretty good.
I know, man. That was a fun 8-minute stretch.
Wasn't that
against Oklahoma? 35 points, I think they scored in like 8 minutes. It's just like I'm watching that on TV. I'm like, surely that one's not going to go in. Surely that one's not going to go in. Everything's just splashing down. It was unbelievable.
I remember several Doc Sadler coach games where it wasn't entirely clear.
You try to get to 35.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't entirely clear 35 would be the final score.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something real quick. When we were like lamenting about Nebraska basketball last year, and we talk about all these other sports, especially with the basketball film crew with us, did you get the fact that they were just everybody was kind of like, well, they are missing Rink Mass. Rink Mass is it's critical. Did you get the level of potential from him not playing versus to now early when you see him playing? It's crazy, isn't it?
I've had this same conversation with 2 or 3 different times since then. Like, how could anybody have known how big of a missing piece that was going to be? You got a big man hitting step back 28-footers like it's nothing. Right. And then you heard Coach Moser talk about it after the game. Like, how do you guard him? Right. He rolls to the basket on a switch. He does the pick and pop. Like,
then he'll post you up.
And then okay. So you close out on him and then he dishes it to Sanford, who, oh, by the way, he's not bad shooting the ball either. It's just like,
he's okay.
When those shots are going in, they're hard to guard. They're really hard to guard.
I may be smart, but end up being smart. I doubt it because it's so early. But I told Robbie the key acquisition was how Lawrence plays the second time around. I hope I'm right because he's off to a decent start.
He is. He's a great kid too. Easy to root for. To see him play the way he did Saturday night was awesome. Man, that was a cool night. Iowa lost. Got to come back and see Nebraska basketball rally from like 14 down. Turned out to be a good day.
Oh.
That is our guy, Ben McLAUGHLIN, Nebraska.
My guy, not our
No, he's our guy now because, right, we're kindred spirits, you said.
No, not sharing.
No, that's fine. I don't think it's your choice. Well, I think he gets to choose who he wants to be friends with.
Ben, we'll talk on the plane.
I'll let you guys fight about that when you take the headsets off. Thanks for having me, guys.
I appreciate
it, B.
I appreciate you babysitting DB when I'm not on the clock. I appreciate that.
You bet, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, B.
That's Ben McLAUGHLIN, Husker Radio Network. You all right?
Everybody needs a bodyguard.
It was your idea to have him on. I feel like
always.
I feel like that backfired on you a little bit.
I know. 4 months later, I'm like, what'd I do? That's fine. Shane loves him.
No, I love Ben. It's great.
Shane, it's a way to start a Monday.
Can he be my guy?
Yeah, I'll share.
Everybody's Shane's guy.
I'll share.
Just like everybody should check out Centris Federal Credit Union, especially if you're trying to buy your first home. They have special programs called My First Home Program. Offers up to 105% financing with no private mortgage insurance. Make sure you check it out. CentrisFCU.org to learn more and to talk to an expert today. Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender and federally insured by NCUA. That is the show for today. SDB, I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow on Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.